Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Afton and I'm Monty's Tarot Child. Today I have a really, good message that I feel like I'm really excited to record for you all based on the title. As you can see, we are looking into the story of your love life in this lifetime. I haven't done a reading like this before. I'm very excited to intuitively pick up on any messages that you are ready to hear about your love life in this lifetime. So I would like to encourage you to just take a moment to pause this video, meditate on one of these 4 piles to see which message is meant for you to hear right now, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the beautiful rose quartz crystal. I'm going to put it right off to the side, and we're going to get into your energy, into your reading. The first card that you have is Trine here with angelic support, harmony, and perfect flow. Okay, so initially what I am seeing with this energy is that either currently or just overall in the past, love in your life has been harmonious. And for some reason, I'm feeling weary of jumping right in and saying, oh, you've had the perfect relationships. Everything was just great. The angels were supporting you, yada, yada, yada. Because we're all still human. We're all still flawed. And so things do come up. But to have Trine as your main energy for the story of your love life in this lifetime, and that means from the beginning of your life to the very end, your love life has had a sense of harmony and flow within it. And when I think of flow, I think of being exactly where you're meant to be, exactly when you're meant to be there. Meeting people in alignment with your desires or your needs for that specific moment in your life. That's what I think about when I think of flow. Harmony means that energies have worked well together in your love life. And I was unsure if I was, when channeling for these messages, I was unsure if I'm going to tackle these readings from a romantic perspective versus platonic versus familial. Because love is way too abundant to just limit it to romantic feelings only. But when I say relationships for you specifically, pile number 1, I do feel like there is some sort of romantic aspect to it. And they have been in the past, in the present, in the future, harmonious in some way, where the energies, they work together, they flow together. And sometimes when that flow stops or when there's a redirection, that is what is necessary in the moment. I was reading a post that I told my wife about yesterday, actually. And it was a post basically talking about let's not all just idealize the duration of a relationship versus the health of a relationship. And of course, I'm paraphrasing here. But just because you see someone in a long relationship doesn't mean that it is a happy one, doesn't mean that it is one that is growing, that is filled with love or respect or any of those things that you would hope for in any romantic situation. And so I say all that to say, just because you may be someone who has had different spurts of relation with other people, having relationships that aren't that long in duration, but were impactful in your life in one way or another and meaningful to both of your lives in one way or another, that doesn't mean that it wasn't successful, and that something needed to change course and to end. So that's my long-winded way of saying, like, yes, harmonious, yes, perfect flow, but also just having an understanding that you may not be in a committed relationship right now. Pile number one, maybe you are. I do believe that this message is meant to reach whoever it is meant to reach. And so if you are in a have been in a long-term relationship, and you sense this harmonious flow, this like literal support, otherworldly support in your relationship and the strength that it has, then this is absolutely the message for you as well, because that harmony is real. And for one reason or another, it is a big central focus in your reading, and we're going to look into the oracle and see why. We're going to look and see what else I have for you, pile number one. Why is trying here? Why is trying here? Okay. You have full moon in Sagittarius. See the bigger picture. So beautiful. Such a beautiful energy. And so, yeah, that's so gorgeous. And also full moon in Cancer. Let your fears dissolve. This is so interesting to me. See the bigger picture. This has been a thing for you in your love life over the course of your love life and how it has unfolded for you in this lifetime. Seeing the bigger picture. And when it comes to harmony, when it comes to flow, in regards to people connected in a relationship, individuals who come together to commit to one another in one form or another, to be able to see the bigger picture together is miraculous, because no two people are ever identically alike. Like, it's impossible. We are all unique. We were all born uniquely in ourselves. And that makes relations and being in relationships difficult. So with see the bigger picture here and harmony and flow, there is this counterpart to your energy, pile number one, that not only helps you to see the bigger picture, but also has an expanded vision of themselves as well, which creates this harmony. It creates this perfect flow. You and a significant other or another person in this lifetime are here with the same goal, with the same aim in Sagittarius, which is to explore and discover truth in life and meaning in life in one form or another, but typically very spiritually. And so in this lifetime for yourself, pile number one, you're meant to gain access to this, to have this in your life, is a divine union in one way or another. Again, I don't want to specify romantic versus platonic, but in one way or another, you are meant to have a union in your life that expands your mind, expands your heart and your courage so much in this lifetime that it may even expand your definition of love. It may reveal to you the potency of love that is liberating, that allows you to be free and exist freely within yourself and your being and in relation to them as well. And that's a beautiful, beautiful energy to have, based on the story of your love life. It means that you're going to be able to go far with this type of love that exists in your life. You're going to be able to achieve the freedom that you wish and that you desire, and that is an emotional need for you, because it was meant to be that way. And you have the angels, literally the angels in the skies and the heavens above supporting you in this. You have the full moon in Cancer. Once again, at the bottom of the deck, let your fears dissolve. So this type of love that exists in your life, it's kind of frightening because it actually makes you face certain things that you would have gone in your life without facing. Because fears are easy to ignore. They're quite simple. If you have a life filled with other things to be able to focus on to distract you from your fears, it's easy to just let them exist as they are. But when true, genuine, heart-wrenching, honest love is in your life, it allows you the opportunity to dissolve your fears. Whether you take the opportunity or not in that Cancerian way is up to you, because you have this outer shell of protectedness with the crab here. So again, it's easy to hide in that shell and to protect yourself from having to face your fears. And with this Cancer energy here, love is nurturing you to the point where you realize there's just certain things you don't need to hide from anymore in this lifetime. And I feel like that's what is going on with the Sagittarius energy too. It is this love in your life is leading you to liberate yourself from holding yourself back in any way in this lifetime, that's emotionally and spiritually. Really getting to the depths of your desires, your needs, like being very clear about those things in this lifetime, finding clarity. Because again, the Sagittarius energy is the seeker. So it is out to seek and to find that clarity emotionally and spiritually. And again, trine, harmony, perfect flow, support. I didn't expect such beautiful energy to come out, but this is really like a really beautiful reading so far. Let's see what else we can do here, because I'm oh so curious what other energies exist here for you. Pile number one, please, Spirit. Pile number one. I think love, the capital L, love, which in astrology, there is an astrologer, Diana Rose Harper, that talks about love so beautifully, planetary love, and, love between the inhabitants of this earth. So I think it's definitely a different conversation around those feelings. But that type of love is actually here to give you an understanding about why love exists in the first place, why it's necessary, and not just for the ability to say, oh, I have this type of love in my life, or, to be boastful about it in the way that is domineering or just like demeaning of love itself. It's here to show you pure love, like just pure, and I keep getting the word honest, love. You have the leader here with Leo, influence, courage, and benevolence. So in your love life, in this lifetime, it is giving you so much courage. It is feeding you so much fire. Having this love in your life, having it exist in your life as it does, it is radiating from you. It is something that brings influence into your life. There's something here about you both influence one another, or, if it's more than one party, all individuals are influencing the other. Of course, you have the Seeker at the bottom of the deck with, once again, Sagittarius energy. So lots of fire, lots of passion, wisdom, experience, and evolution. I love that. I just love that. You have this water element of harmony and flow in Cancer, but also this really really fiery energy represented in your love life, which means that all things can exist, all bases are being covered here. And of course, if the material aspect shows up, we'll speak on it. But what is standing out to me the most is the fire, how seen you feel when you are loved properly, how you are able to embody your most expressive self and love when it is in this angelic support and this harmony and flow. But there is something here about influence. Again, it keeps standing out to me. So maybe the connection to love that you have, the connection of love that you were specifically thinking about in this moment as I am speaking, maybe it is in the sense of that you both, or whoever is involved in this situation, relationship, connection, you both are very influential and are able to broaden other people's perspectives as well, even people who are not involved in the relationship, who only simply interact with you. It's like you have this energy that exists in your life of love that, when combined together, is very Jupiterian. It's very expansive. There's abundance that exists in your love life in this lifetime. So much Jupiterian influence, actually, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And so it is double highlighted here in the sense of you gain so much wisdom being connected to this harmonious flow, being connected to this energy of love. It brings you wisdom about yourself. It shows you, and just in the areas where you can be the most courageous, when you doubted yourself, when you didn't think that you could expand or could explore or be your whole self, be your whole being, love was here to tell you otherwise, to remind you of it, and to encourage you to experience this life with your heart fully open, free of fear, as much as possible, of course, and to evolve. Your love life is a story of evolution and angelic evolution, again, supported by the heavens in all ways, in all different types of ways. Pile number one, please, Spirit. Pisces. Sagittarius again. Sagittarius emotion. So I'm gonna, of course, read both of these, but wow, I'm not surprised. I am, but I'm not. So you have Pisces with the material element here, and it says create space. And the image depicts a house without walls, and the words say, when the walls start to close in, you need to find wide open spaces. Dissolve the boundaries. Once again, it may be that you need more space in your calendar or the freedom to let yourself wander. Okay? And so love in your lifetime, in this lifetime, reminds you to create space for yourself. That's that Leo energy as well, but Pisces, Leo, create space for yourself. Be in a full body existence in this lifetime. There is something here about, if you feel small, expand the walls. a house without walls. Create that space where you feel the safest. So creating a safe space, a home that is mutable, that allows change, that encourages you to, again, Jupiterian aspect, to leap, as you can see, to leap, to expand, to take up space. You have to create the space that you wish to take up, because it's not always just freely offered. And so, especially if this is a relationship that you exist with, like you cohabitate in a sense with, they encourage you to really take up space when you can, when it is possible, especially around them. It's very intuitive when they know that you are not taking up space, when they know that you are holding yourself back in some way. It is very intuitive. They can sense it or feel it. That's a part of that angelic support as well. This is a very divine union here. And they, again, because they are so in tune with certain fears, they are always going to encourage you to dissolve. They're going to encourage you. There's this, even though we have Pisces and Cancer, there is this Plutonic element of let what doesn't fit, what doesn't align, dissolve. Any habits, any feelings, any thought patterns of we are not worthy to take up space, we are not worthy to shine. Let all of that dissolve so that we can exist in perfect harmony with our true natural state of being, which is jubilation. Okay, so the Sagittarius emotion is jubilation or restlessness. A dolphin jumps above the waves, and the card says a feeling of jubilation can lift you up. There can be exhilaration as you look to move forward. However, a need for movement can at times leave you feeling restless. Try to manage your agitation and question why you feel blocked from progress. The love that exists in your life can tell when you are feeling a little bit restless, when fears are starting to pop up in regards to not only the freedom that you seek, but the freedom that you have in your life, which may be a little bit unexpected for you. This love that is represented in your life has reminded you of how free you are, and it may have been a really shocking or still shocking revelation that comes to you from time to time, because the world feels so intimidating. It feels so confining. And so you start to believe in the boundaries that you are complete, like you're always being reminded of, like, oh, here's a boundary. Here's where you can't do this. Here's why you can't do that. And so this love tells you to liberate yourself from that, to free yourself from any, material boundary by going within emotionally and exploring why we allow ourselves to repeat the narratives that are repeated to us, and why we don't decide to change those narratives sometimes, to act more in harmony with our own innate nature, rather than being granted the permission to, or waiting to be granted the permission to embrace the freedom that we desire. So you may be connected to, involved with, in alignment with a very radical energy that tells you to break the walls down, to really let something die off and be reborn within you emotionally, specifically, because we have two water cards talking about dissolvement, and how the spirit energy is asking you to embrace jubilation. Love is asking you to embrace jubilation in this lifetime, and to not allow emotions to leave you repressed or working against what feels right when it does exist in your life. So many emotions. I mean, so much Sagittarius. I can't even make it up. So that's very interesting. I'd be very curious to know if you have any such in your birth chart or between the parties that exist within your love life. So I'd be very curious to know. Of course, feel free to leave a comment if that is the case, or if this Sagittarius energy is really speaking to you right now. But pile number one, please, Spirit. What other energies do we have here for pile number one? Yes. Okay. So we have Moon and Scorpio with power in the 8th house here. So love in your life is it's a very an emotional process. It's emotionally deep. It's intense. Love is in your life in this lifetime. It's very intense and very deep. It's very watery. You have so much water influence. But also such strong fire influence. So there is this emotional receptivity and intellect, but also passion, pure fire that exists within your love life in this lifetime. Moon in Scorpio is a very serious, it's a very intense energy that is not lighthearted. This love is deep. It is, in some circumstances, possibly taboo, where other people will have very strong opinions about how love exists in your life in this lifetime. And it's not really for them to view or to even have the ability to have an opinion about it, which means that people don't see how your love is being interacted in day to day. They may see maybe the most jubilating, the most passionate, the most fiery, the most out there parts, but there are some parts that you and the love of your life or the love in your life keep to yourself, just for you both to explore and to be deeply connected within. You are deeply connected to the love that exists in your life in this lifetime. You have fixed fire, you have fixed water here, but also so much mutable energy. That means there's a consistency of love and affection, but also a mutable energy of exploration and enjoyment in this lifetime for you. You also have Mercury and Capricorn with organization at the bottom of the deck. So in regards to this energy, it feels like you communicate strategically in regards to love in your life. The ways in which you communicate is to organize, it's to have a plan in order to reap the benefits. You don't want to just be in relation with people and have emptiness, empty-handedness, empty conversations, empty feelings. You need more out of that type of connectivity, in all regards, I'm sure, but I'm sure to different extremes as well. Romantically, it's the deepest. And any other relationship in your life must reflect that in some way. It's like there is this need for balance in all relationships in your life, but a certain level of deep reciprocity. And so the ways in which you communicate is to achieve that deep reciprocity, setting yourself up in life to create the space that you feel the most comfortable in order to receive the love that you require and that you need. Because with Moon and Scorpio, you have to be a little bit more intentional in having those connections in your life. That means you have to be a certain amount of vulnerable in order to receive what it is that you wish. And so love in this lifetime it's teaching you about all of those things, actually. How to be as deep as you wish to receive deepness, but how to not take it so seriously that you don't enjoy life. How to be spontaneous and reckless in one hand, but organized, and capable of achieving all of your thoughts, all of your desires, all of your wishes, simply by speaking what it is that you wish to be into your life. So love has played a very big role in your career, even in the questions that you ask yourself about life and also about death with the 8th house here. Love has very much played a full spectrum role in your life, and it has allowed you to, I think, based on these cards, become the best version of yourself, a leader in your life, a respectable, influential, organized leader, someone who's not afraid to seek, who's not afraid to find the truth, the answers that resonate with their own life path, someone who's not afraid to think big, but not in a scattered way, in a very uniformed, organized, and convenient way, a way that, like, when you think bigger and you take action on those thoughts and you create the right environment and you prepare yourself emotionally for the bigness that you seek, those are foundational things that create a very harmonious life, which is why you had it as the first card out. Harmony. Wow, very big message for you. Pile number 1. And now we're going to look into the tarot to see any final details, any, final words about what aspect, yes, love is playing in your life. You have the Queen of Cups. So beautiful. This is a really pretty card. The Queen of Cups says that love in your life has been so nurturing. It has been so healing to you emotionally. It has been so enlightening to you. It has definitely made you more compassionate, loving towards yourself and others. Love with the capital L has opened your heart up so much, which I feel like at some point you may have feared in the past before this love was introduced to you, because of how deeply that you love, because of how deeply that you need this emotional connection. And it took some time with the Knight of Pentacles here. It took some time for you to be able to build and trust and love, to know that you would be well received, to gain this certain level of courage. It took some time, and what is time? It is only a concept for us to be able to track moments in our lives, historical moments in our lives, but the amount of time, as we've spoken about before, is only an illusion, and it is really about the impact over time that is important for you to reflect on. And so love has been a very powerful force in your life, in this transformation of self, this emotional transformation, and the acceptance of yourself and the way that you naturally are, and how you deserve harmony, you deserve flow, you deserve to tap into the angelic support that exists for you. And the progression has been steady. Of your understanding of this, the progression has been steady. It has been consistent. It has been something that you needed. And maybe you didn't know you were in such need of it, but you're thinking about things a little differently now, and it's making sense to you as you reflect on this reading, as you reflect over your lifetime so far. You have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. The pages always talk about a learning of something that you are not as experienced in. And so, of course, experience, we use language in order to get our point across. So when I say experience, you may have had a number of relationships or intimate connections before being involved with this specific love in your life. And so when it comes to feeling an experience, it showed you new things about yourself, about life, about existing in this body of yours, differently than any other experience you may have had, romantically or otherwise. This love has sparked your curiosity. It has made you look at tangible things differently, in the sense of let me use what I have in order to expand into more. Let me utilize what is here to learn more about what else exists in a material sense. Let me see the bigger picture from this point here expanded into the future. That I feel like is that Page of Pentacles energy of being ever so curious about life, being ever so curious about experiencing life in the most harmonious way possible, but with the most depth accessible. Knight of Cups. And in regards to this reading, I'm reading the Knight of Cups as romantic. Romantic, emotionally expansive. The Nine of Cups says, I am courting you. I am treating you like the royalty. Look at them pointing towards one another. I am coming to you with respect, with emotional maturity, with emotional receptivity and intellect. I am emotionally mature. I'm ready to be in alignment with you. I'm ready to support you as you would support me. I'm ready to embrace the angelic support that is being offered to us in our union. This energy is here courting you, coming to you, saying, you deserve these things and I want to give them to you. In this lifetime, this will be a continuous theme though. You know how you see those couples who flirt like they just got together and they've been together forever? That is the Nine of Cups energy to me. Of like playful banter, flirting, and intrigue in one another emotionally to the point that you will always be there to pursue, and vice versa. Pursuing one another romantically, emotionally, in order to let that person know you are the one that I am dedicating this life to get to know better, to get to know the most, to be in the depths of emotional reality with. This is what you both bring out, or what is being brought out from you with this type of energy in your life. This energy of love, maybe it is a specific individual person for you, pile number one, take what resonates. But they're rebellious. Rebellious, they don't abide by certain rules, which I guess has to exist when you are being called to see the bigger picture. You have to sometimes expand beyond what you're told and look into something new about what you feel. And so they're a very rebellious energy. Love to them is their own unique definition. And it works for the parties involved. It works for you. Their definition of love. It is in alignment with yours. It respects your love. Six of Wands, honey. Yeah. They make you feel so celebrated. They make you feel so seen. They encourage you to move with a certain energy of knowing yourself. In this lifetime, you are meant to have this. You are meant to, of course, be able to always uplift yourself, but the power that you feel being in connection with this love, again, influence. It makes you feel so influential. It makes you feel like you can do anything. It makes you feel like you can go anywhere, be anything that you want to be. It gives you such great joy being in connection with this type of love in your life. And I see it with the Knight of Pentacles here and the Capricorn energy. I see longevity. As long as you are both able to tap into what each other feeds one another, there is longevity here. There's emotional stability, spiritual stability and upliftment, physical stability. You have a lot of things represented in this reading that suggests longevity and a powerful connection in your life that feeds you so much harmony and flow. You've learned so much about yourself in this connection, how great you are, how powerful you are, how creative you are, how psychic and intuitive that you are with the cup energy here, how in tune and aligned you are. You feel in alignment when you are following your instinct to follow this love, to follow this feeling, to not question it or doubt it, to not question the pace of it, but to understand like love evolves, it unfolds how it's supposed to naturally. And I think that that level of thinking has helped to broaden your mind as well. Like there is no timeline. There is no should be here, should be doing this. There's a much bigger picture that this love has tapped you into, where timelines don't exist, where expectations are, I expect respect. I expect the same amount of love that I am putting in. It is equal here. It is harmonious here. But expectation of, oh, you should be this kind of person with this amount of money and this type of authority, that doesn't exist in this connection. You're both natural leaders, naturally courageous in different aspects. And so you bring it out in one another. You highlight it in one another in this type of connection. And it is very aligned, again, nurturing and harmonious. At the bottom of the deck, you have the King of Pentacles. This love in your life, it makes you feel so good, so resourced and taken care of. It makes you feel stable, but also independent and capable of creating anything in your life that you wish, materially, specifically, but also emotionally. You feel so powerful with this connection. You feel so connected to the earth and this lifetime and this existence with this love in your life. And I really feel like you may or may not agree, pile number one, but it wouldn't have been this way without this connection. And so you cherish it. All right. So I have one final affirmation for you. I do believe, yeah. One final affirmation for you, pile number one, and this will then be, or in the bottom of the deck, and this will be the conclusion of your reading. But this card, oh, it's so beautiful. As my love and experience grows, the consciousness of my sacred spirit evolves. I'm going to say it again because I've never seen this card before. And how aligned, okay? How aligned. As my love and experience grows, the consciousness of my sacred spirit evolves. I'm going to leave that message for you to decipher because I know that it will. I know that, like, based on everything that we've said, I know that that one probably really hit home for you. At the bottom of the deck, it says, I am clearly guided by my revered guardians who protect me always. Wow. So much support. I'm going to read this one one more time too. I am clearly guided by my revered guardian who protects me always. So the love that exists in your life was meant to be. It was meant to be in this lifetime because you have been protected. You've been guided to this love. It exists because it was meant to. And there is no question or doubt about it. When you have so much energy working towards the growth of this love in your life, because it evolves your consciousness. It helps you to, like, literally your soul evolves being in connection with this energy. And you were guided here. It is a very powerful connection that is not meant to be taken lightly. Your guardians, your angels, they want you to know, to fall into this love, to trust this love that exists in your life, and to continue to allow yourself to experience it. Don't hinder it from yourself out of fear. When it feels too good to be true, when the walls of defeat start to confine and close in, compassionately just tap back in, check in with yourself, check in with this love, and say, this is meant to be here. We are meant to be connected. It is meant to be happening in this way because love is the prevailing force. It is the energy that is driving the energy of my soul. Okay, pile number 1. I hope that you enjoyed this very strong, very powerful reading. If you did, please give the video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the beautiful clear quartz cluster, which is so beautiful in the light. Okay. And I'm going to put it right off to the side. We're going to get right into the energy of your reading. You chose the card 5th house with passion, play, children, confidence, and creativity. Okay. So in this lifetime, love in your life is supposed to evoke passion from within you. It is supposed to evoke the most playful aspects of yourself in this lifetime, the most confident and creative aspects of yourself in this lifetime. Some of you may have children. For some of you, this may be in your lifetime the love of your child that is here to tell this story today. But we are, of course, going to dive deeply into it. Passion, playfulness, confidence, and creativity. These are the themes, the 5th house themes of love in your life in this lifetime. It's direct. It's very direct. I will be looking at any aspects that point to this being romantic versus platonic versus, as I mentioned, familial. But just right off the bat, it is giving, of course, romantic to me. And this is what is supposed to be represented in your romantic love life in this lifetime. I'm going to shuffle some extra cards now, just so we can get a little bit more detail, because of course I can tell that this is something that you may be very interested in having in your life in this lifetime. But let's see how it is meant to play out for you in regards to love in your life in this lifetime. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. Pile number 2. You have Cancer, new moon in Cancer. So I'm just going to say it out loud because that's just very interesting. I'm looking at this lavender sea salt candle that I have sitting on my table while shuffling, and it says floral and marine and relaxing. And so I really hyper focused on that relaxing word just now. And this card came out, which is really, it's strange to me. But you have new moon in Cancer with relax. Okay. So you may be someone who tends to embody a very Capricorn-like nature of work, very hard work, very dedicated to your work and your responsibilities and your professional commitments. And so when it comes to relaxation, when it comes to joyful playness, when it comes to passion and creativity, this is something that love is meant to reverberate. Am I saying that correctly? Literally send waves of it through your life, through the aspect of love and being in a loving connection with someone. Your significant other, the person that comes to mind when receiving this message, the connections even that come to mind when you are receiving this message, they are in your life to teach you how to relax, how to slow down, how to have fun and enjoyment in your life, because they know that your focus of the earthly matter is so heavily influenced that sometimes joy takes a backseat. And we're going to get into that because we have the full moon in Aquarius here with Be Real. And so Aquarius, the zodiac, is actually co-ruled by Saturn and Uranus. And so when I think of the Be Real energy here with the full moon, you do have this very strong clarity around realism and knowing that there are real life responsibilities that must be taken care of. And I think the love in your life is not there to dispute what is really of importance to be taken care of. What they want you to realize is that there needs to be a balance of fun, play, and responsibility, work, and duty. They want you to understand that you can do house chores and still enjoy it by putting on some music that you feel you can move to, that you feel you can clean to. There is this energy of let's enjoy even the most mundane of situations. Let's relax in the knowledge that if we make things more playful, it rejuvenates our energy for other responsibilities. Love in your life is actually here to bring you a very strong duality of energy, to honor your responsible side, to honor your inventiveness in being able to create stability in your life, but also to let you know that there is more to life than just having your bills paid and, doing your duty. There's more to life. There's more to existence than just that. They want to see you happy. They want to see you laugh, like from your chest, from your stomach, laughter, and to be at ease. They want you to be at ease. That is genuine love in your life saying, I want you to be comfortable. I want you to feel nurtured. I want you to begin this routine of nurturance that promises longevity and sustenance in our life in some way. Let's see what else we have here. What other energies do we have for pile number 2, please, Spirit? Pile number 2. Okay. Origin. With root, conditioning, and forgiveness. So I was just thinking about how Cancer rules the 4th house, and you have the fifth house here, and they do work in tandem, being so all the whole birth chart works in tandem. But then you have origin here, which is all about fourth house aspects and Cancer aspects of getting to the root of certain things. And so when I say getting to the root, it means where do you observe certain conditioning or things that you just naturally believe in without a second thought? Where do those stem from? Where do they come from? And I can tell that love in your life is actually making you question these things. With the be real here, be real, be honest about certain things that have conditioned you to believe that life is just what it is. Where do those come from, and how can you forgive those thoughts, those habits, and then claim something bigger and brighter and more fun-loving in your life than just that kind of bleak, realistic, or not pessimistic, but just like that point of view of life that doesn't invite play or passion into it. And ironically enough, when you have those things, it actually does feed your confidence, because you're not solely focused on the tangible, on like your worth being rooted in something that you have achieved or done or accomplished, but that your worth is just what it is. It is valuable. You are inherently valuable. Love in your life, the love that exists in your life, is here to teach you this and to help you evolve through this over your lifetime. I do believe throughout your lifetime you have questioned or you have wondered, like, I'm like this. I wonder why. And maybe you haven't dug as deeply as you have with this assistance from this connection in your life. And so they really try to compassionately dig with you, to kind of like look at the root of things so that you are not settling for what just is rather than what also could be. You have completion here with looking forward, dissolution, and innovation. And you have all of the mutable energy of Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces energy, mutable energy. And Cancer is cardinal. The fifth house is ruled by Leo, which is a fixed element. Okay. And so is Aquarius. Completion. Love in your life as it exists right now and as it will exist over your lifetime, is encouraging you to look forward. It's actually encouraging you to look ahead of time and to realize where you may or may not be purely existing or living, or like you're here but you're not fully in this life experience, because you are, yes, you may absolutely think forward, you may think ahead, but is it around future responsibilities? Is it around future bills, future, grievances that, again, keep you in this serious mindset, in this cold mindset? Or is it something that, like, are you able to look forward in a different way? Because you have this Cancerian energy, this fourth house energy of looking back, but you also have literally looking forward. Dissolution. That makes me think of a dissolvent in some ways, of being able to recognize what things stem from the past, what things stem from conditioning, and where you are able to dissolve from it and innovate a new way of being in your life that works for you, that feels good, and maybe is harder for you to relax into and to trust. And so with the be real here as well, it's like, be real, be honest about any difficulties that you have in channeling and accepting this energy in your life, because love will be here to compassionately hold you in those difficult realizations of like, oh, hey, I have to learn how to be playful. I have to learn how to be more passionate, um, or carefree, or even I have to learn what creative outlets work best for me. Where do I feel the most creative? Or where do I have the most access to creativity in my life that I may or may not have been properly utilizing in order to liberate myself from past conditioning? Love is here to show you that. It is here to guide you to that, to hold your hand and say, hey, it's time to be a little more gentle with yourself. You are not a workhorse. You are not a work machine. You deserve to relax. You deserve to have playfulness and fun in your life. And to have this childlike curiosity, not only of your environment or what is available to you, but also yourself. Tap into that inner child that never got to explore as fully, that maybe had to grow up too quickly, and didn't have a very relaxing introduction into adulthood. All of these things are within this origin card. And that is what love is here to get you to explore and to uncover for yourself. Oh my goodness. The cards have been so aligned that it actually doesn't make sense. The fact that I mentioned the fifth house being ruled by Leo, when I didn't really necessarily have to, is very interesting to me. So you may have a lot of Cancer or Leo energy within your birth chart, or Aquarius or Scorpio, Sagittarius, or Scorpio. I don't know why I said Scorpio. Virgo for sure. Sagittarius, Gemini, and Pisces. But you have playfulness here with Leo wisdom. And of course, pile number one had this as their bottom of the deck as well, with Sagittarius emotion. I'm going to read both, but that's very interesting that you now are receiving Sagittarius twice at the bottom of the deck. But playfulness. The picture is a depiction of a litter of puppies tumbles joyfully. That is just so aligned. And the statement says, playfulness can make your heart feel full. Yes, it can. Have you been having enough fun lately? When and with whom do you find yourself in a joyful mood? If your enjoyment quotient has been low, let your inner child lead the way. Okay? Love is so aligned in your life right now, especially if you have felt challenged to be more playful. If you have felt challenged to find your joy, maybe even outside of connectivity to another person, because yes, someone can bring you joy. You can have a great time with someone, but also I think the love that exists in your life wants you to be able to be independently playful at times as well, to have joy in your life independently. I think that it's very important for this connection that you were in to say, yes, enjoyment. When and with whom do you find yourself in a joyful mood? It is essential that you are able to target this and especially revel in this until you are able to do so independently and to find your own hobbies or things that you enjoy, if that is what is even being called for. Because sometimes you really do, like, you really are meant to be connected to love in a sense that every time is a joyous time that you are with this person or these people. Every time you are meant to be playful and to step out of your responsible hat, to put on a different perspective and to relax around the people that really bring out the most joyous aspects of yourself. Again, laughter, playfulness, joy. They are here to feed your heart and to make it feel full. And so it's time to check in. Pile number 2. It's honestly time to check in with your, what did they say? Your enjoyment quotient. Has it been met? Is it low? Have you been having enough fun lately? And fun can be lighthearted. You don't have to plan it out necessarily. People would suggest that, but I feel like that takes out some of the spontaneity of fun. So whenever you can, get a coloring book, watch a funny movie. I'm not really sure what else you would find enjoyment in pile number 2. I'm very curious to know if you have anything like set up in your life in the near future that is going to give you this bout of playfulness, this moment to really let your inner child lead the way, whatever it is for you. But you also have jubilation and Mars, assertiveness. So this is just an extra little message that says, make the earth shake under your feet as you run for your goals. Move forward with power and energy. Get fired up, find your motivation, and make progress assertively. It's time to take action. So that is a direct message that is going back in the deck. But from your spirit guides to say, don't just hear this message and then understand it. Do what you can to take action on it. Set up any play dates that you need to, because even as adults, we deserve play dates. We deserve this really lighthearted type of love that exists in our life. So take action on that however you can. But you have jubilation or restlessness with the Sagittarius emotion. And so the depiction is a dolphin jumps above the waves. And the statement says, a feeling of jubilation can lift you up. There can be exhilaration as you look to move forward. However, a need for movement can at times leave you feeling restless. Try to manage your agitation and question why you feel blocked from progress. That is also a part of this origin card. Please try to dig deep and question why you feel blocked from progress. Is it because you've been working and no pause for play, no pause for enjoyment, no pause for relaxation? And sometimes it's not relaxation. There's a dual energy, but both of them are needing to be met at this time. Pile number 2, and love is here to introduce it into your life. So what it feels like to me is someone texting or calling and saying, hey, when's the last time you ate? When's the last time you stood and stretched and took a break? When's the last time you checked in with yourself emotionally? Questioned yourself emotionally? Love is here to send you these reminders in one form or another. And it's really begging you to also be honest as you can, as honest as you feel comfortable with yourself, and trying to manage the agitation that you feel when you are feeling restless by taking action, moving, doing something differently, moving that agitation into creativity, into playfulness, even in some way or another. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. Pile number 2. You're meant to enjoy your life in this lifetime, really and truly. You're meant to literally be jubilated, overjoyed, and in like really loyal community. So I'm going to take the one that flew out, but you have, of course, Venus and Pisces with submission, and Moon and Libra with companionship, which are very both Venusian energies of love. I'm not going to keep them though, but that's just very interesting. You also had the card that flew out was Moon in Gemini with adaptability. Moon and Gemini, a lot of mutable energy coming out for you with Gemini being at the bottom of the deck. Also, once again, but you, at the bottom of this deck, you have Mars and Capricorn with authority. You're very authoritative. And actually, the love in your life, again, with Capricorn also being ruled by Saturn, the love in your life makes you feel so responsible. It makes you feel so able to achieve your physical and material desires. Love encourages you to be authoritative in your life, independent in your life in some way or another. But love also requires for you to be adaptable. Because I feel like because it's such a strong energy here, that is what you are meant to literally adapt to. And this life is your adaptability, your means of being able to go with the flow, to move in and out of certain roles in your life. And so love is here to remind you of your emotional need to be adaptable and to not always be so serious, so responsible, so, on top of everything all the time, even though you have the ability to, because we had Mars twice here. So when I told you to take action on scheduling in more playfulness in your life, you may have very well paused this video and did that thing because you are just very actionable. Mars and Capricorn gets the thing done, and that is why they are viewed as the authority. Actually, Mars is in Capricorn at the time of me recording this video. So it's very in alignment of you feeling the urge, the desire to really take authority over this in your life, but don't take it too seriously. With adaptability here, be fluid, be playful with your approach, because it is not like work. You do not have to treat your playfulness like work, your enjoyment like work, which is why scheduling things in doesn't always bring about the same gratification because you've planned X, Y, and Z. Some things, yes, can be planned, but that is to your discernment. And so be adaptable. Go with the flow. When it is time for you to embrace your playful spirit, your creative spirit, do so, and do so confidently, knowing like when I get back to my responsibilities, I will be refilled, I will be nurtured, I will be even less restless and more jubilated for the task at hand, because I was able to feed myself the things that I actually really needed and I really desired at that time. Okay, so this is what love is here for in your lifetime. It's actually really here to help you find a balance in your responsibilities, find a flow within your existence so that you can live your life fully. What else is here? I'm going to shuffle the tarot now, and we're going to look and see if there's any details, any specific areas in your life that are being highlighted with love at the helm of this message, even though we know that there's a lot of financial, material things that you are focused on achieving. I want to see what else is being activated for you, or how it's being activated for you in this lifetime. And this is over the course of your lifetime. You may be in the midst of a very generous season of playfulness and fun. This message is not to say that, oh, you're not fun loving, you're doing it wrong. This message is here to remind you, like, this is why love exists in your life. And so when you change and evolve, as we all naturally do, love is here to remind you not to lose that adaptable mindset or way of being, and to continue to try to embrace like total acceptance over yourself, so that like you are exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to be doing, because you have followed your intuition and you have followed the feelings of love to guide you where you're meant to be. So let's see, one more tarot card and then we'll reveal them all. I'm not sure why I did it this way, but this is what we're doing today. You have the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And so the Five of Swords is a really interesting energy to have here when we're speaking of how love exists in your life. The Five of Swords says that when you are when you are not tapping into your playfulness, when you are not tapping into the lightheartedness that exists within you, you can be very verbally expressive, in the sense that it may shock people, it may hurt them to know what you have actually been thinking, or what you are feeling, or what you're saying based on what you're feeling. So the Five of Swords is saying, in order to prevent further disconnection from others in any sense, you're being called to embrace what we've been talking about here and do the work, do the origin work of looking into how this Five of Swords appears in your life when you know that you've been working and working and working and working yourself to a point that you're kind of mentally exhausted and short in conversation with others because you have so many things weighing on your mind, weighing on your chest. And especially if people are coming to you out of playfulness, out of enjoyment. We have the three people here, we have the three dogs here. Especially when people are trying to be playful with you, trying to entice you to come out and play, to live a little, to do things a little bit differently than how you've been doing. Really reflect on your responses to that energy and why you may feel overwhelmed at the fact that someone may be reminding you of something that you already inherently know about yourself, and it bothers you to be reminded of it. And that shows through the conversations that you have. That is a strong message that I picked up with that Five of Swords here. But let's see. What is the center of your energy? We have Justice. Oof. I love this deck so much. And the cards. You have Justice here. Okay. I'm actually going to flip them all over to see what the energy is trying to say. Ace of Cups. Oh, yeah. Look at how beautiful that is. Ace of Cups. Okay. It's very Cancerian in nature. You have the Page of Cups. Wow. Yep. Okay. It's a learning journey for you, and you are being called to be as patient with yourself as you possibly can be. Okay. You also have the Three of Wands. Beautiful. And the Eight of Cups. Yeah. Okay. So especially, okay, well, where do we start? I'm going to start with the Eight of Cups because it came out the fastest. But especially when you feel like you're getting to that Five of Swords point where you have only smart remarks to give to another, when you feel like it's not going to be a productive conversation because you are verbally reacting to something that you are feeling emotionally, walk away. In that regard, walk away. So that when you are coming from a more balanced place, you're able to have a different type of conversation, especially when love is involved and you know that your intention is not to hurt another person, but to gain more clarity on your own self and your own emotional feelings and reactions. That's just the first message that came from the Eight of Cups, me seeing the Eight of Cups. But what else? Justice being at the center means that you are in desperate desire and need of balance in your life. And you have tried to address it logically. And that's where the Swords energy is coming in, where the Justice figure is holding a sword straight up. You definitely tried to address it logically. And I think there is an energy of love in your life that is trying to encourage you to feel more of your desires rather than think about what it is that you need. I think love in this lifetime for you will continuously ask you to look over the horizon and witness what is trying to come into your life, rather than, again, thinking that something is going to, like, thinking that an action is going to bring about a specific result. Love is asking you to, like, really look and say, like, okay, you did this action and you expected fun or enjoyment out of it. And yet when you look out over the horizon, what you see is actually more responsibility making its way to you. So was that out of enjoyment, or was it another opportunity to achieve something or to work towards something, and you labeled it as enjoyment, and now you are once again lacking in satisfaction in some way? I think that that's going to be the balancing act that love introduced into your life. You have the Ace of Cups next to Justice, signifying new love. But especially if you are already in connection, especially if this is something that has been a theme over your life, I think the Ace of Cups can also just speak to a refresher or a refreshing perspective around love and emotionality in your life. And so that is the goal. When you have an Ace of Cups, based in a reading that is spread over the time of your, like, over the span of your lifetime, which is what this reading is meant to do. It is meant to look at the span of your lifetime. So having an Ace of Cups here, which marks a new beginning, means that it is going to be a consistent refresher for you to check in and to balance what is unbalanced. That is a learning process for you. Same with the Page of Cups here. You will continuously evolve through relationality, learning, especially with the moon in Gemini. That's total Page of Cups energy of, like, continuously being curious enough to even learn, like, what works for you, because we know you achieving, you striving for the material gain, and those didn't even come out in these cards. We know that that's something that you may be very good at, but to learn a different aspect of life over your lifetime means that it's going to be continuous lessons of, like, oh, this was an opportunity for me and I chose something else. And you forgive it. You compassionately let it go, because there will be so many times, so many other opportunities for you to actually say yes to enjoyment, yes to passion and excitement in your life. But you can't do that harboring on the fact that you may have let yourself down in the past in different ways. So really, again, looking at the origin of any shame that you feel, any disappointment that you feel, forgiving that, letting it go, and letting your cup be filled with something joyous and nurturing and healthy for you. The Eight of Cups, which I learned recently, is actually ruled by Saturn and Pisces. So for any of you who are watching this during the transit of Saturn and Pisces, which it started late in 2023, and we are now in 2024 as I'm recording this reading, and Saturn will be in Pisces until 2025, I do believe. Of course, if you would like to know the exact date, I would highly recommend to look that up. But Saturn in Pisces, natives who were born with Saturn in Pisces may be going through a time right now where they are being not only encouraged, but there is this level of restriction that you feel, that the only thing that can liberate you is enjoyment in the emotional realm. And And so Saturn and Pisces with the Eight of Cups here is saying, if you know something is not working out, if you know that it's not building towards not only stability in your life, but again, what we've been talking about, enjoyment, pleasure, spiritual alignment, even if it's not building towards that, you will be called to walk away from it, to find a new building ground, a new foundation, because something wasn't to your liking. It wasn't stable enough in your life. In regards to, I'm thinking specifically about routines, like setting up playful routine check-ins in your life, and how that may not have worked out in the past, how you may have embraced it and then let it go and then felt shame about letting it go. And so now you're having to do it all over again, but remembering oh, I let myself down in the past. I think that's something that you're abandoning and letting go of and moving away from, is that mindset, that way of thinking, because it keeps you perpetuating the same cycles. And so, especially if you're going through your Saturn return right now, expect the unexpected and do the unexpected for yourself. Even if you felt like you haven't been able to be consistent in this area and this aspect of your life, realize that there's always a new opportunity for you to do so. So whether that means being more physically active, being more creatively explorative, those things shift and change. That's why you had Moon and Gemini with adaptability. Allow yourself to be adaptable. Don't shame yourself for falling back into responsibilities or seriousness, or there will be moments in your life that you just can't do the thing that you want to do at the time that you want to do it. But that doesn't mean that you're letting your inner child down. That doesn't mean that you're letting yourself down. It just means okay, this is not necessarily a moment that I have access to play. But if I did have access to it, I would embody it. I would embrace it. And the next time I do have access to it, I will. I think these are just kind of the type of conversations that you may be having internally, again, to ease your spirit, to ease any agitation or restlessness that you feel in regards to existing. And this was a message about love, but when I say this is so much different than the first pile, and yet love still exists within this. I think, like I mentioned, someone really wants you to be balanced. They really want to be able not only to, again, fill up your cup, but to witness you have a full cup, period. And to be overjoyed. They want to be able to witness you walk away from things that are not emotionally fulfilling, because you know that it's time to do so. Especially if you've been giving to certain relationships or connections that the genuine love in your life knows is not being receptive to you of that same quality of loyalty that you have in certain relationships. They want you to be so confident in the realization that love exists all around you and outside of certain connections, that you will never run out of it, and that you can always adapt how you need to, and know that you will be taken care of, you will be fed emotionally, you will be nurtured, and you do not have to worry about love lacking in your life by walking away from something else. There is this genuine energy of someone wanting you to know this and wanting it to bring you a lot of equilibrium. That's what I think of when I see the Justice card. I'm trying to see if there's any other energy that I see in your cards or in your reading, to backtrack towards the completion card at the bottom of the deck. Just that again, that emphasis on the Eight of Cups of like something is completed, your work there is done. It is time for you to go and seek new horizons, to look out and see what looks the most fun. Where do you feel like you'll have the most enjoyment? In what aspect, industry, and what creative expression do you feel like you will find yourself the most pleasure? And how can you move towards it? How can you learn more about it? And how can you be consistently curious about pleasure in your life during this lifetime? Okay, this is the role, the active role that love is playing in your life right now in this lifetime. So I am going to shuffle this one last oracle deck. It is a deck of affirmations. And that will be the conclusion of your reading. I will read the card that comes out for you. And then, of course, I will read the bottom of the deck. So one final card for pile number 2, please, Spirit. One card for pile number 2. Pull it out. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck, it says, I see clearly actions of manipulation. I see the truth. Okay. This is the bottom of the deck energy. This is highlighting the completion energy. This is highlighting the be real full moon in Aquarius. It says, I see clearly, that's that full moon, actions of manipulation. I see the truth. So especially with that 5 of Swords energy, if you feel like you are reacting to actions of manipulation, or you are defending yourself from that, you being aware, you being able to voice, you being able to speak and say, I'm literally witnessing actions of manipulation, and it is not something that I enjoy. It is not something that I condone. You know, the Justice card here says that will be balanced out as you take the action that you need to take in order to move you away from that type of energy. However it exists in your life, love will be there to encourage you to do so. It will tell you that there is more authenticity that exists outside of what you see in your life. You deserve mutually receptive, emotionally mature, emotionally intelligent connections in your life. And love is here to grant that to you, to offer it and say, there's another way. There is more there's more here to fill up your cup and to fill up your heart, and to examine why you may or may not believe that, or where you may or may not believe like there's lack here, but I'm gonna settle for it anyway. I'm gonna accept it because this is what exists. This is how the world is. This is how people are. You don't have to settle for that. And love is reminding you of that. But it also will challenge you to question why you believe it and how you can transform this perspective within you. But you have the card, I sing the beautiful song of my heart, clear and loud for all to hear. Yes. I sing the beautiful song of my heart, clear and loud for all to hear. This is that passion. You see the birds singing with the music here? That is so hilarious. As you can tell, these are 2 different cards from 2 different decks, echoing the same message that there are people who will hear your song, but you have to sing it, and you have to sing it loud and clear for all to hear. That's for the aligned connections. That's for the misaligned connections. I mean, maybe possibly the beautiful song of your heart may fall on deaf ears and they may not be drawn to you, but it is likely that they actually will be drawn to the beautiful song of your heart. And still, you have the right to be able to walk away from what is not aligned, to be able to re-envision and to innovate new experiences, new connections in your life. Love is here to bring you justice, to bring you the relationships that your soul knows that you deserve, the love that your soul aches to experience. And so this is a learning journey for you, where we are meeting in this reading. You are learning about love. And it is playing such a huge role in your life with the Justice card here. It is encouraging you to sing anyway, to sing regardless, to find that passion, to find that root of passion that has been within you this whole time, and you just needed to get reconnected with it, reacquainted with it, through a playful and forgiving, compassionate perspective. Okay. Pile number 2, I do believe that this is the message that I have for you. This is all that I see in your cards. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and it will help this channel out a lot. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the beautiful citrine crystal. And I am recording your portion of the video, later in the evening. So I am sure that there's a little bit of an overcast, but I hope that you're able to see everything perfectly clear. So let's get into your reading. Your overall energy is Pluto with transform. Okay. And so just as a reminder, this is a reading, taking a look at love, your love life in this lifetime. And so having Pluto, the energy, the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth, regenerative energy, very regenerative. I feel like having Pluto as the symbol of your love life in this lifetime is very intense, actually. Pluto's not necessarily just a lighthearted, playful energy as another pile had before you. Pluto is more intense. It's a little more grown up. It's having a lot of transformative things happen for the betterment of love that exists in your life. Because when things need to transform, that means that they weren't able to exist or stay the same in the same type of energy that it was. There was something that needed to transform. So looking at this in connection to your love life, in this lifetime, there have been some major transformations to happen in your love life, in this lifetime, over the span of your lifetime. And I believe, because we're looking at the past, the present, and the future, these are just themes that you will have to deal with for this lifetime. Pluto, it demands change. It doesn't even demand, it is change. So the only option is for something to transform. And so it comes down to two ways of being. Either this Pluto energy is for you personally, and this is signifying that you've had no choice but to transform based on the relationships and the connections that you've had in the past and present, future. Of course, that's what we're looking at. So either you have had no choice but to transform, or the relationships themselves in your life through this lifetime has had no choice but to transform. So, thinking that you are in a really good space with the connection, you're thinking This is long term. It's going to last this way. It's going to grow this way. We're going to be able to explore and do these type of things. And then Pluto is introduced, and you may find out like, oh, your partner really wants kids and you don't. And maybe that's just like a really hard line for you, or has been a hard line for you in the past. And of course, this is just an example. There are many different factors that are introduced or that can be introduced to transform a relationship. And children is just one of those different types of energies. It could also be financial disagreements, or just like the roles that each partner would play in the relationship, and how sometimes those aren't always in alignment. But with Pluto here, these are drastic changes. These are life transformations that have occurred either within yourself again, or within the relationships that you have been in the past, that have just demanded complete like rebuilding of energy. And Pluto is never, again, it's never just like the easiest thing when Pluto is around, because we can get stuck in our ways sometimes. And, when we're not ready to transform, when we're not ready to change the habits or the actions that we do or take, they sometimes reflect that, and it keeps us holding on to something tightly rather than being willing to accept when the ending is here and to let things go. So Pluto, being the very first card out, means that this is going to be somewhat of an intense reading, and intense is not bad. I think it's a good thing to be aware of this energy so that you can move forward in connections, really understanding when it is time for something to be let go of or to be transformed and changed. So we're going to look into the Oracle. We're going to see what other energy we have here for you in regards to your love life in this lifetime. For pile number 3, please, Spirit. Okay. There's 2 of them, though. Ooh. First quarter moon in Taurus with release control, which Pluto rules Scorpio traditionally, and Scorpio is the opposite of Taurus, releasing that control that we're talking about. You also have step up and lead, new moon in Capricorn. I'm going to ask for one energy. Just one energy, please, Spirit. For pile number 3. All right, that's the one. You have forgive also, and take inspired action. So full moon in Virgo and full moon in Pisces, those are also 2 sister signs in the zodiac. You have the first quarter moon in Aquarius at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, and the last quarter moon in Capricorn with leave the past behind. This is your main card. Leave the past behind. And this is so Plutonian. It just makes so much sense. So yeah, let's get into the energy. So you have the last quarter moon in Capricorn and the first quarter moon in Aquarius. Both of these zodiac signs are ruled by the planet Saturn in some capacity. The first quarter moon in Aquarius is saying to trust the universe, trust what is being revealed, trust what is being awakened in your own psyche. Because you have the third eye, or the crown chakra, the crown chakra here, with the trust the universe card. Leave the past behind. So you have had, again, through the cycles of your connections with people, you have had many instances where things have had to be left in the past. People have had to be left in the past. And I know that there is this weariness within the spiritual community of leaving people in the past or leaving things behind you. And some people really strongly believe against that, because no person should be left behind. And in some people's perspective. And I don't disagree with it. But I do strongly adhere to this message of, what needs to be scrapped must be scrapped. What no longer fits, you cannot force it. So if there was a certain person that played a specific role in your life, and then that role was meant to transform, there's no need to try to find them a different role. There's no need to try to make it fit, to make it work, when it is not functioning in your life. And I say functioning because we have Capricorn energy. Capricorn does not like waste. It doesn't like useful, like lack of usefulness. It doesn't like when things just are there for no reason. That the Capricornian energy. And so for Pluto is saying not only leave the past behind, but really look at any habits that exist within you or within the environment that encourages you, to try to keep things from the past that don't belong, that don't fit, especially when it comes to relationships, especially if you are a person that knows, like, I really want to give my all, my effort into any new circumstances that come into my life. If you know that there are certain relationships in your life that hinder you from doing so, if there are people or a person in your life that, requires something familiar from you that you are not able to give to any new person or people in your life, how are you making space for what you truly desire? So that is what the leave the past behind means for me. It's like, how are you making space for what you truly say that you want? How are you accepting the fact that something is from the past, in the past, and it's not necessarily the healthiest for you? Because when I see Pluto, when I think of Pluto as the ultimate dissolver, Pluto is not getting rid of things that are useful. Pluto is not getting rid of things that work. It's getting rid of the unstable structures that, again, don't fit, that don't aid in this foundation that you're trying to create in your life relationally. And so you have to be pretty honest, very brutally honest with Pluto here. Pluto doesn't hold any of the punches back. So you have to be brutally honest about what isn't working, what is asking, what is begging to be transformed in your relationships, who is needing to be left in the past as a memory, as an experience. You can still honor the past. You can still honor what it is that you have experienced with another person, and also accept the fact that they are not meant to play a new role in your life presently or in the future. So the universe is asking you to trust this. This is a part of course, the storyline of your love life in this lifetime. And so you are at the pivotal moment in that movie, that rom-com drama, where the main character realizes, like, oh, hey, I deserve the love that I give. I deserve even a healthier love than that, because maybe I'm an overgiver. Maybe I give too much. Maybe I care too much. Maybe I try to bring everyone with me. And I deserve an even healthier love than that, where I'm not dragging someone along the path with me because they are familiar to me, but because they are building a foundation of love and trust and honesty with me, and it is reciprocal. And there's this promise, there's this almost silent guarantee of longevity, because we are all, both, whoever the parties are, we're putting in that work. The self-work, the collective work of learning how to love, learning what habits we carry that get in the way of properly loving someone else, properly loving ourselves. So these are essential for you. And as any main character in the movie, I think you're getting like this aha moment of like, okay, of course, receiving this message and seeing the signs, seeing the urgence of moving forward and away from the past, you will start to see like, oh, this is really clicking. Like, I would also hope that you would be able to see how it has been a theme for you in your love life, up until this moment. How has this been a theme for you? How difficult has it been for you leaving situations in the past? And why is that? Why is that? Is it because you are afraid that you won't actually find the nurturing that you deserve? Are you afraid that once you move forward, you can't go back? It's like impossible. It's irreparable. And, how can you lean into trusting the universe more and knowing that what is taken away with the death aspect of Pluto will always be replenished, because Pluto represents death and rebirth. There's nothing that lacks with Pluto, because it actually clears out what is unnecessary, which you won't even miss because it wasn't working for you in the first place. So there's a lot to unpack with that, especially because Capricorn and Aquarius are both ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is it's a restrictive energy, but for the benefit of growth, because Saturn teaches you that you do not need an excess of relationships or friends, even because you're getting a little bit here and a little bit there. It's telling you, how can you be more disciplined to receive depth, to receive full nurturance by just a little, and not spreading yourself so thin, or holding on to excess unnecessarily in any way, emotionally, physically, spiritually. But in regards to this message specifically with Saturn and Pluto's influence, it's telling you where is it possible that you can learn to accept, to let go of what is not working for you and your relationships. Okay. And so you have the card of Origin, very interesting, with root, conditioning, and forgiveness here in this card. Hopefully you can see it okay. And it is ruled by the number 13. And another pile got this card, but as I said, with that pile, this card reminds me of fourth house energy. And fourth house is all about our root system, our emotional root system, where we have learned things. The fourth house is ruled by Cancer, which is the sister sign of Capricorn, interestingly enough. So we have a lot of symbolism here for you, just echoing one another. At the bottom of the deck, you have contraction with inner world, mending, and being. Let me show you what it looks like. Inner world, mending, and being. And so, and I know it's pretty dark in here, but this little star up here, that is the symbol for Saturn. Isn't that so funny? Pile number 3. That we were going in on Saturn, and Saturn graces us with his presence. But yes, being more disciplined actually to search within you in regards to this origin energy, the root causes of certain attachments that you have, of certain, maybe even possibly, I may even go as far, and of course take what resonates, pile number 3, but maybe even as far to say as like the addiction of love. And it can be addictive when we get certain feelings or attention that we didn't receive growing up, and being in a nurturing home that was meant to nurture us in the ways that we needed, not just in the ways that we desired, but in the ways that we needed. And so coming out of those potentially unhealthy environments in our childhood, coming into adulthood, we start to connect with people, and we become attached. We become attached because we believe like this is it. Like this is the most kindness I've ever potentially received in my life. And how can I let that go? How can I turn my back on someone who has been with me thick and thin through all the transformations? How can I just let that go? This is, of course, just an example. Pile number 3. But if it is an example that resonates with you deeply or in any way, in any capacity, your spirit guide, the universe, is asking you to really look at how that has been conditioned over time. Look at that root, the condition of that root. And is that an example of the relationships that you want in your life? Do you want to be dedicated to something out of obligation, out of a false sense of loyalty? Because true loyalty, it's not just based on longevity. It's a reciprocity. Do you feel like your need to be loyal to someone, is it right? Does it fit where you are in your life and the circumstances that it requires of you to be loyal to another? Or is it something that also needs to be transformed? Okay. People will, there's so many opinions in the world. And of course, this is just another one of those. And I always recommend to take what resonates, but people will harp on loyalty and how it doesn't exist any longer. And the real question is like, what do you really want to be loyal to? Do you want to be loyal to, someone that you grew up in the same neighborhood with or went to the same school with? And for what? Because you've known them for a long time? Or would you rather be loyal to someone who asks you how you're doing? How did your day go? How are you feeling internally, emotionally? Maybe even curious about like anything going on in your work environment, professional environment, just in general. Genuine people who ask genuine questions of you and genuinely want to know the answer, the response, and they will wait for those things. Or especially if you're the type of person to advert from any conversations of discomfort, because you don't want to talk about yourself, or you don't feel like you want to take up space in that manner, the right people will circle back around and truly ask you, like, I noticed you didn't respond to me when I asked you how you're doing. So I'm going to just throw that out there again and let you know that I recognize that you didn't respond, whether you felt comfortable to or not. Totally okay. I just want you to know I'm here for you. There's so many different examples, pile number 3, of what I am intuitively picking up as something that you would like to have, in regards to the relationships in your life. And there is an energy, there's an aspect that is setting itself up for transformation in order for you to receive that in this lifetime. And of course, we all have free will. That is the beautiful part about this human experience. We have the free will to accept and allow this transformation to happen, because it will happen. There will come a point where you will notice very Plutonian energy of things dissolving and falling away and transforming into new energy. And whether or not you walk forward with that and really stick to what you say it is that you want, like, you have the free will to decide that, like, whether you do that or not. And so what I'm seeing in the cards is that I think you're actively trying to make it a practice. You're trying to be not only discerning of the choices and decisions that lead you down the same path, but you want to look at the root of those choices and say, well, how can I choose differently so that I don't end up back talking to this person, connected with this person, even sleeping with this person, when I said that it's not enough for me. How can I transform? It's like little things. How can I transform the way that I feel about something that leads me to think about something that leads me into action and connecting with someone or something that is not in my favor? Not even just in, like, for your highest good, because I feel like a lot of terminology in the spiritual community is oversaturated, but in your favor, to live the best life that you can in this lifetime. How can you make smaller choices, more decisive decisions? And it starts internally with the inner world here. It starts with a certain kind of mending, and also this energy of forgiveness. And I think that is definitely like a self-forgiveness that is being reflected, of like, how can I understand certain things that I do? How can I understand certain habits that I carry, certain tenderness that I have towards people, and they are also aware of this thing, and maybe they also, they expect me to come back. They expect me to come back to them. How can I mend these things? Forgive myself for these things. Know that I am only human. I'm not perfect. None of us are. But when I say that I want something for myself, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to be determined in this, and I'm going to leave the past where it belongs. I'm going to move forward with a new mindset of determination. And I believe this is really working for you, pile number 3. Let me see what else we have here in the energy for you. For pile number 3, please, Spirit. Pile number 3. That's too many, but you have Pisces energy once again, and you have Venus energy. Some of you may have Venus and Pisces. Let's see. Just one card, please, Spirit, for pile number 3. Okay, yeah, it really wanted to come out. So you have Venus, the planet of love. And I know it's kind of dark, so I'm going to read what this card says. And you also have Neptune, the planet of spirituality. And I'm going to read the bottom of the deck as well. Venus. And the image is laying stepping stones by hand. Love does not have to be instant. It can be cultivated. The stepping stones to get there are appreciation, trust, forgiveness, communication, tolerance, and gentleness. Connect with the part of yourself that is open-hearted and ready to embrace all life has to offer. And what better energy to have represented in your reading than Venus herself, gracing you with tolerance, love, forgiveness. It's such a beautiful card, actually. Love does not have to be instant. It is rarely instant, but it can be. So I don't want to say never. Love does not have to be instant. It can be cultivated, okay? And so I see you finding this dedication to cultivate life to cultivate love in your life. I see this figure holding a shovel, and there's actually some stones here too, just replicating this card of saying, stone by stone, even the stones that you have laid upon the path of love in the past, they are not futile. It is not like, oh, I've put in all this effort, all this work in one form or another for this relationship just for the universe to transform it and flush it down the toilet. It's like, no, that's what I meant about honoring the fact that you had a connection that you valued, that you held dear to you, and it transformed. Something in it transformed. Either you transformed, the other person transformed. There's something here about the energies just literally, if anything, causing more friction than harmony. And that doesn't just completely erase all that was. So I think you're learning how to appreciate that. And it's kind of bittersweet with Pluto energy here. Because, when you have love for someone, like I said, it's not just meant to be disputed and thrown away. So really accepting that. I'm also honing in on communication, clear communication. Clearly communicate when Pluto's energy is present and when something being need to be transformed. I highly believe in just letting someone know when something isn't working and being able to communicate it in a way that finalizes a decision rather than leaving the energy of the relationship in a no man's land or in just like not through communication. I personally, pile number 3, do not believe that, of course, through my own trial and error, leaving things unsaid just leaves them unsaid. And so a full hard reset of transformation with Pluto's energy here, there may be some communication that needs to happen in order for there to be a clear ending. And again, in this day and age, it's not something that is actively always practiced, or it's not the societal norm, I should say. But with practice, with being able to even speak to yourself intimately about what is no longer working so that you may be able to communicate the message externally, can be very helpful for this closure for you. Again, because things left unsaid means like, oh, I did nothing wrong, they just cut me off. Oh, I did nothing wrong, they just have an attitude, they'll be back. Oh, there's nothing wrong, we just do this from time to time. No, let's do something a little different. Let's transform even the way that we close this out with like radical honesty of like, hey, you're not really my type anymore. Of course, compassionately, with love, with Venusian energy here of like, this is not compatible for me anymore. We are not moving in the same direction as I once thought we were, and it hurts. It breaks my heart. And also that like self-process, that individual processing of like, and this is why I stayed so long. And this is why I believe that I deserve this type of love. And this is why, and this is why, and this is where this comes from. And this is how I can pinpoint this way back when I first had my first kiss or first relationship. Doing that type of internal, intimate, like personal work will be beneficial for you as well. But Neptune says a star forms a window into another universe. You have a lot of universal energy. And this card says there is a window opening somewhere in your psyche. Step through and activate your imagination to experience extraordinary dreams, spiritual creativity, and a profound connection with the cosmos. So I think that, this transformation, this Plutonian transformation, is actually awakening a very deep spiritual side of you that has maybe lied a little bit more dormant. And so your psyche is opening up. But that's what we said, like as you make space for, as you clear, as you allow, it starts to open up a different energy for you. You have Sun in Aquarius that slid out. I'm going to keep shuffling. And so I know that this opening for you may not have happened just yet, depending on where you are at the stage of your life right now. pile number 3. But it is happening. It is taking space. I think this will be, like with Neptune's energy, this will be another clear sign as to what you will be able to see, sense, or feel within and around yourself that will tell you like, oh, okay, this is what that message was about. This is what that was meant to be. And I'm moving in accordance with the energy. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. Like I was meant to clear this energy out of the way so that I could actually find a deeper connection to the universe around me. A deeper, a more profound connection with the universe around you. Because I feel like certain relationships have only perpetuated you existing. And you'd like to be more present. You'd like to be more aware, not only of yourself or where you came from, but also like the future as well, the present, being present. Like you would actually enjoy that a lot more. And I see that opening up in your life as you were making this clearing, as you are making this space. You also have Saturn, of course, in Sagittarius with fulfillment. And so if you can see it, because I realize we're getting darker and darker here, but this card of fulfillment is actually talking about more so a material fulfillment in one aspect or another, very interestingly. So in this lifetime, as you are clearing, making space, allowing yourself to expand on what it is that you would like to experience in this life with love being at the helm of the ship, there's like a lot of fulfillment coming in for you, a lot of not only riches, but emotional wealth and fulfillment as well. You have Capricorn, you have this material gain of some sort with Saturn and Sagittarius. So you may feel richer. You may experience more wealth in this lifetime with the aligned relationships that are coming into your life, whether that is, being able to network or communicate because of a certain energy in your life that introduces that, whether it is you hit the lottery and then at the lottery station, what do they call it? You meet the love of your life, checking you out, handing you your $1 million ticket. Hopefully not because you won all that money. But to be serious for you, pile number 3, Saturn in Sagittarius is saying like, as you are more disciplined, more things actually start to expand for you. I think there has been this energy of things waiting to come into your life as they're waiting for you to clear things out. Like it's literally like your blessings or this fulfillment in one way or another is waiting at a red light for you, trying to get through this traffic jam of energy that needs to be transformed. And it doesn't even have to be that you have like a lot of people around you that need to go. It could be that you have no particular person actually, and it's just an energy that needs to be transformed of, realizing your value, realizing your worth and what you deserve, and really going after what it is that you say that you desire in your relationships. And that's going to bring you a lot of fulfillment. But you have to be disciplined with it. You also have Venus and Scorpio with secrets. Very interesting that you have Venus again in Scorpio. Venus is in detriment in Scorpio. She does not do well in that sign because that zodiac sign requires a lot from Venus. It requires an intensity that Venus is not typically concerned with, the planet itself. Scorpio is it's Pluto. Scorpio is Pluto. So it's intense. It's deep, deep love. It's the type of love like, yeah, I will hold your secrets. I won't tell a soul. We can work through them together, me and you and I. And I feel like you do have a lot that you are holding on to emotionally and possibly from other romantic situations in your life that have caused a sort of scarring in one way or another that is just sitting with you, waiting to be expressed. I think you have gone a long portion of your life holding on to certain secrets of others, of course, but also yourself, your own secrets. And of course, no, you would know best, pile number 3. Everyone just cannot be privy to what it is that you have experienced or that you have learned through hard lessons with love. People just can't all be privy to it. They have to see a different aspect to you. You are more comfortable with people seeing a different aspect to you. But Venus in Scorpio says that you have a lot that you would like to uncover and dig deep with in romantic partnership. Like you would prefer to have a relationship that transforms you, that transforms your natural way of being with secrecy, where they can get you to open up and be vulnerable in a safe space, and really building those foundational blocks of trust. This is something that you require, that you desire, that you need, and that cannot take place in its current form. It cannot take place in its current state. And so it's asking you to leave the past behind, and to welcome in, open your arms to the potential of that reciprocity of someone allowing you to relieve the burden of your own trauma, your own secrets, your own emotional or romantic scarring. And that's not the only aspect to love that is here for you. There is and I keep saying it, romantic love, because we have Venus here. There is a romantic love that will help you to unpack the things from the past. It's not just like, oh, I'm leaving everything in the past and I'm not even going to talk about it or bring it up. It's like, no, this love is saying we can safely unpack your past together in the present. We can keep you from having to revert back to past situations or connections to try to do that unpacking there, realizing like, oh, those people weren't meant for you to unpack with because you would have done so while you were with them. Okay, so Venus in Scorpio, it says a lot actually. And yet there is so much more for you, pile number 3, to be able to fill in for yourself personally. Because again, you know your secrets best. You know what weighs on your heart the most. And love is here to liberate you from that and to set you free and to help you expand in bountiful ways, beautiful ways with this Saturn and Sagittarius. Saturn and Sagittarius makes me think not too fast and not too far. Because Sagittarius, they can go wherever they want to go with the right means. Sagittarius is mutable fire, so it's boundless. It doesn't have a boundary. It doesn't have a stop goal. And so Saturn is saying like, okay, sense this out, feel this out a little bit to see how you feel in this environment. And then, take a reality check on like, oh, can I go deeper with this? Can we go further into this? And really, Pluto is asking you to look into all the relationships that exist in your life and what level of depth exists there. And are you comfortable with that depth? Not just comfortable like, oh, I'll tolerate it, but comfortable like, oh no, I get pretty much, what I need from this person with no other expectation of them, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. because I'm so curious about what these aspects are for you. Saturn in Sagittarius was a little bit of a surprise for me in your energy so far. Everything has felt pretty much concise, except this big bag of money that exists in the fulfillment card. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. Pile number 3. Oh, of course. We have the Queen of Pentacles with the rabbit here. The Queen of Pentacles is a very beautiful energy. This just makes me think like you are meeting or connecting with the right people at the right time when you feel the most secure. So of course the funny part about meeting the love of your life at the lottery line, like, no, of course it doesn't have to be that directly. I'm not here to give you direct examples, but the Queen of Pentacles says that you will be in a stable place financially. You will be in the midst of continuously nurturing your financial well-being as you are coming into connection with this Plutonian energy. And so that's kind of what I was saying as well. The Pentacles energy is earth energy. It's stable. It's already formed. It's already here. So Pluto's not here to transform your money, here to drastically take anything away or even give you, like $1 million necessarily. I feel like that's more Jupiterian energy with Sagittarius being here. Pluto is here to say specifically that the love in your life is here to transform. It's here to transform you, your perspective of how secure you are, how stable you are, how abundant you are. I think love in this lifetime for you is playing the role of the reminder of letting you know, like, I am abundant. I'm a boss, Capricorn energy here, fulfillment. Like, you make your money, you take care of your stability needs. You do a lot. You do a lot, and you want to continue to be able to do so. So that means that you are always taking care of your material means in order to make sure. And so it's not like you're looking for a rich husband to like fill up your purse and keep you happy or keep you secure, but lacking in the happiness. You're looking for a partner, an equal, someone to match not only your hustle, that is clear, but to match this energy of being willing to even transform. You in particular, pile number 3, I don't believe you like when things stay the same too much. Like you're okay with doing things on a switch, on a dime. You have the Knight of Swords here. It kind of came out upside down, reverse. So I'm going to keep it as such because it's a message. The Knight of Swords in reverse actually is telling me, like, withhold communication. And I know we were talking about clear communication, but I'm thinking about specifically if there's a past situation in your life that may specifically be coming up for you. You don't need to talk to them directly per se, because the Knight is always the one moving into action. Swords is communication, it's talking, love notes, love letters, whatever. And so with it being in reverse, I think, especially in regards to the past, the origin of certain roots that you felt like you were trying to understand more, either right now, presently, or in the future. Just be aware that all communication is not necessarily going to be as beneficial as you would hope. Sometimes when you are trying to get your point across, it's falling upon deaf ears. Totally fine. Some things are just meant for you to unpack individually. and to come to awareness individually. You have the Nine of Swords. Yeah. So in this lifetime, love has given you a bit of a headache. It has brought you a lot of worry. It has made it very hard for you to trust in the universe because of the discomfort that it has brought you mentally and emotionally. The Nine of Swords says that there is potentially, presently, an energy that keeps you up at night. It keeps you overthinking, and it keeps you in a loop, trying to figure out what went wrong and where it went wrong. You may have had some very strong feelings around love in the past, thinking that it wasn't meant for you, it wasn't meant to be in this lifetime. You know, you tried things and it was not in your favor. It was not in your favor. Love was not on your side. It was not in your favor. People took you for granted, took what you brought to the table for granted. They made you doubt what you could clearly see was misalignment. And so the Nine of Swords carries a lot of energy. In this lifetime, love has not been easy for you. It has not been. And so I think that, you know, this reading, if you have made it this far, is going to be about a lot of unpacking for you. Unpacking, leaving things in the past, forgiving what didn't work out because it wasn't meant to, and recognizing any parts that you may have played in it by holding on to something that needed to be let go of. Okay, so the Nine of Swords, it's a lot. It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of like repeating the same questions like, was it me? Was it me? Was it this? Was it that because I did this? Was it because I am this way? How many of those questions are relevant to what it is that you know that you're seeking in love? How many of those questions are actually relevant to you understanding the transformative aspects that love is trying to take in your life in this lifetime? And how many of those questions can you let go of? Unanswered, trusting in the universe that you will come to an understanding eventually. You have the magician card, okay? And so in this lifetime, love is going to provide you with everything that you need. There's nothing that you will be without. And we can tell from the financial fulfillment, we can tell from the emotional work with the Cups energy here, being able to recalibrate your mind by not only withholding communication, but talking to yourself compassionately and saying, like, there's something here that I'm continuing to replay in my mind, and I need to let it go. Because if not, it's going to drive me a little mad, a little insane, even with the Nine of Swords here, if I continue to try to think about why it went wrong, instead of accepting the fact that that was not the love meant for me and I was not meant to hold on to it so tightly, and that is okay. So the Magician is saying you have the keys to liberate yourself. You have to be more connected, more grounded, more present to realize that you have the tools that you need. Because if not, if you're stuck in your mind, that's all you're going to see is what you're thinking about. If you decide to only focus on money, you will have more of it, but other things will still exist as they are, and you will still be asking those same repetitive questions when the lights go off. You have the Three of Pentacles as your final tarot card, and at the bottom of the deck, you have the Emperor. Beautiful energy. The Emperor, that's that boss energy. That's that I'm in charge. That is what love is here to feed you. It is here to feed you confidence and saying, like, I've got this. I've so got this. Like, I don't even know why I doubted that in the first. Well, I know why. You will know why. I'm hearing gaslighting. But in this lifetime, you are meant to stand tall. You are meant to feel secure in your own ability. And also in your ability to contribute and collaborate with other people. You have the Three of Pentacles here, which is so interesting because it's not depicted as the typical Three of Pentacles, of course. This is the modern Witch Tarot deck. But it also is not, I'm not picking up like the same old, partnership, collaborating, working together, Three of Pentacles. I think love in the past for you has actually defied you from working with other people because there was not trust there, because there was not faith there. They didn't believe possibly in your creativity or you being able to work intimately with other people without it being professional. And so maybe this is a part of what has been internalized of like, I'm better off working alone, Emperor energy. When in reality, like you may actually really like to transform that way of thinking and collaborate more with other people who entice you, inspire you, and cheer you on and make you feel like you are a valued part of a team. So in this lifetime, love is meant to relinquish you from any doubt of that reality of like, oh, hey, people value my opinion. They value my creativity. They value what I'm able to do, even when I'm not able to value it myself, because all I think about is like making money in this one aspect or in this one way. And so love is here to liberate you from that, transform that way of thinking for you so that you realize like, oh, I didn't trust myself working with other people because of X, Y, and Z. I didn't believe that I was able to do this because I was told that and I believed it. And I was conditioned to believe it. And so now you have a lot of undoing for yourself mentally because of the energy that was so strong and so influential in your life that has, made you believe in certain things. Not to say that you are weak-minded in any way, pile number 3. I think people have a way of convincing us of like, you don't need that. That doesn't work for you. That's not your color. That doesn't look good on you. That haircut isn't for you. Like it can be subtle, the ways in which people convince us to deny ourselves or to turn away from ourselves in any capacity. And so you're unlearning, you're allowing things to dissolve and to transform and to break away. And being very, very, very compassionate with yourself, I think, is the name of the game. Being as gentle with yourself as you can. Really like affirming for yourself, like, oh no, I can do this. I can do anything that I want to do. I am the magician. Love in your life is here to show you that you are the magician. And how you will know that the right love has found you is when you feel stable, you feel secure, you've done a lot of the work on your own, and then you find that energy that reciprocates, that affirms, that confirms what you're already telling yourself, what is already in your mind, what you already know you have worked through. I think that is the storyline of your love life in this lifetime. It's very loud. It's very clear. There's nothing that anyone is here to show you about yourself that you don't already know. You're just getting in touch with it again. It will take some time Like Pluto doesn't just transform over time. Love does not have to be instant. Okay. So it will take some time for you to be able to cultivate certain habits and structures, systems in your life that leave you feeling stronger, independent, and then the right energy will welcomely come right on in, because there's so much space for them to do so, and be like, hey, like, you're really amazing. You're really creative. You're really like financially intelligent, or like just materially capable. And I see you being someone who's very decisive about not revisiting the past that does not feed you, does not give you wholeness, does not feed to your wholeness as you already are. Okay. So pile number 3, let's see what else. I have just one final affirmation for you in this reading, and that will be the conclusion of a very moody lit tarot reading. Okay. So one affirmation, please, for pile number 3. Pile number 3. Okay. And this says, I am safe to explore new love with others. You absolutely are. You absolutely are. Pile number 3. You are safe to explore new love with others. The universe is making it so for you. They're clearing out anything toxic, anything disruptive, anything misaligned, unaligned, so that you can explore new love, Saturn and Sagittarius, safely with others. Okay, that is the whole intent and purpose of love in your life in this lifetime, so that you can let go of the old and explore the new in a safe environment, safely with yourself, and being more stable than you ever have felt individually, so that you feel like you have more than enough to contribute to collectively with others. At the bottom of the deck, it says, I nurture the child within me. I am complete, whole, and secure. And I'm going to read it again because that is a message, okay? I nurture the child within me. I am complete, whole, and secure, okay? And this is your final message from the universe around the story of love in this lifetime for you, pile number 3. If you enjoyed this reading, I would greatly appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. It would help out my channel a lot. And I cannot wait to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. You chose the beautiful carnelian crystal. And I'm going to put it right off to the side right here. And we're going to get into your cards. The first card that you have is Aquarius, okay? Originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. Beautiful energy. All the other piles have had either a planet or a different energy than just like a plain zodiac sign. So this was very interesting to me. So the story of your love life in this lifetime is very unique. It is one that I feel like maybe even you yourself finds very unique and interesting, in the fact that you attract or have had very different experiences in regards to connectivity to other people and being in certain connections with others. It doesn't have to be romantic necessarily. I'm going to try to, because we experience love of all different types, all different kinds in this world. And so I don't want my focus to be mainly romantic. And I just want to make that disclaimer at the beginning of this reading in case other energies are introduced. Because Aquarius is really like the friend energy, if I am being honest. That doesn't mean that you're never going to have a consistent lover in your life. That's not what that energy is presenting. What I feel is that Aquarius means that in your lifetime, in this lifetime, you're going to have a lot of unique, for some reason, I'm feeling adventures in one form or another in regards to a relationship in your life, or multiple different types of relationships in your life. Just really interesting energy. I'm so curious to know why Aquarius would be the first card out. Possibly some of you who are viewing this message may have Venus in Aquarius. Venus, the planet of love, romance, pleasure, and our values and our own, sense of self-worth through the things that we identify with. That is what is ruled by the planet Venus. And so having Venus in Aquarius would sort of set you on a different footing in general from other people, because Aquarius is not, it is original. We're all original people. No two person is like duplicated or completely alike. All Geminis are not the same, just like all Aquariuses are not the same as well. But Aquarius has a distinction. Being co-ruled by Uranus and Saturn, it sets itself apart from the other zodiacs in the way of like, I am this, but I am also that. I am rebellious, but I'm also determined. I have a sense of values that I project to last a long time in this lifetime. That is Aquarius energy. So to have it as the main card, the central focus of your reading, means that these are the types of things that you value in relationship and connectivity to other. You value when people stand boldly in their uniqueness and really cast aside being a conglomerate in certain ways. You like people with their own minds, their own ways of thinking, their own ways of approaching life, but also people who are kind-hearted in the sense that they care about the well-being of others. They care about the progression of society as a whole, because they themselves know that they are a part of the society. And so for it to work, you must contribute to something originally. So I think that you value this in other people, and I think you may be learning more and more as you age about how you admire this in your connections, specifically the people that you call either friends or chosen family, romantic partner. These people have to have a certain attribute about themselves that makes them stand alone, that makes them stand out, but not in a boastful way, just in their own uniqueness. I think this is something that you really value in relationship in this lifetime. But I'm so curious to know what else we can divine from this message for you. Pile number 4, Aquarius. Why is Aquarius here? For pile number 4, please, Spirit. As soon as that card came out, I heard the saying in my head, like, you want to be able to dream of new worlds with people in this lifetime. You don't want an ordinary love. You don't want predictable, stale love. It has to fit you, and it has to fit you uniquely, just right. Not finding a perfect partner. Again, as I stated, none of us are perfect. You want something that is real, substantial, that can be grown onto, and like that is always progressing, always evolving, not just staying stagnant and saying, this is what I'm going to accept from life. At the bottom of the deck, you have New Moon and Cancer. We're going to talk about this energy in just 1 second. The card that flew out for you, Full Moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. So it's very interesting because there was another pile in this reading that had both Aquarius and Capricorn. And in that reading, I distinctly point out that they are both of these zodiac signs are ruled by Saturn in very unique ways themselves. And so take a reality check. Full moon in Capricorn. A full moon suggests clarity. And so in this lifetime, by the end of the span of this lifetime, um, there will be hopes of you having this full clarity on why it was important for you to have certain relationships in your life exist as they are. I think for you, for those of you who are watching, the reality of understanding that you have lived a life well lived will be based on your own ability to observe over your lifetime how you were able to stay detached but also communed in one way or another. That fine line of not being dictated to think a certain way, being able to think your own individual thoughts, and that leading to the actions that you wanted it to take, not what you were told to do. Being able to look back in your lifetime and say, wow, I really stood by this. I really stood for this. I really honored this part of myself. I think that through this lifetime, you being able to say those things towards the end of your life will be a comfort to you, a great comfort to you with the new moon and Cancer and relax. And it's very interesting because Cancer is Capricorn's sister sign. They are directly across from each other within the zodiac wheel, which means that they are opposites, and yet the two signs themselves can learn something from the other. So it's really interesting, this energy that's coming out for you. Literally, a new moon is completely opposite of a full moon. So while, in this lifetime, it is of great importance to have this clarity, to be able to take even maybe a harsh reality check with yourself on okay, who am I surrounding myself with? What foundation am I creating with them? And is this really me? Am I really representing my true self through the connections that I have in my life? And the new moon is all about sort of this hidden process of planting new seeds, of nurturance, especially in Cancer. So having the duality of full moon and new moon means that you will be going through full length cycles in this lifetime of checking in with yourself. Where are you at? What stage are you at relationally? And how does it feel for you? Do you feel relaxed with the connections that exist in your life at this moment? And are you able to feel relaxed around them? But also, do they support your goals, your ambition, your assertiveness as well? This is a very similar message to one of the other piles, not exactly the same. But because of the energies, there is this alignment of really checking in with this 11th house energy, the people surrounding you, and how progressive you feel in connection to them, how capable you feel in connection to them, and how you may or may not feel this ability to evoke longevity within these certain connections. I think this is a cycle that you will be going in and out of throughout your life because you're growing. None of us ever stay the same. I think, again, it's something that you value deeply. And so if things, people, experiences are not growing with you, expanding with you, there is this need to gain full clarity around why is that? And what part do I play in that, and what part do I not? Let's see what else we can get from these energies for you. Okay. Ooh, you have Taurus energy. Very, very beautiful. The nurturer with resources, security, and sensuality. Okay. So many energies differently, but also I believe that all of the zodiacs aid in the understanding of another. At the bottom of this deck, you have the Origin card, which has been coming out pretty much for all of the piles, if I'm not mistaken, but it is a very popular energy at this moment in time for all who is watching, just realizing that we have a lot of knowledge, previous knowledge that is connected to our roots that sometimes we move with unawareness of. But I'll touch on that in a second. The Taurus card is ruled by the number 44. You have the origin, which breaks down to a 4. So some of you could be seeing 444 a lot. And also the origin card, as I have mentioned in other piles, to me is deeply connected to the 4th house. So a lot of 4 energy of stability and root and grounding and finding equilibrium in some way. Origin is connected to root, conditioning, and forgiveness. I want to make sure I mentioned that for you. And again, the synchronicities within your reading. The origin card, again, because I said that I feel its connectivity to the 4th house. The 4th house is also ruled by Cancer, which we already have come out. So diving into the Taurus energy here, the nurturer, again, an echo of the Cancerian energy, but in a much more physical manner with Taurus energy here. You are a beautiful nurturer to the connections that exist in your life. When people come in connection with you, they feel bountiful, they feel resourced, in an earthly manner with this Capricorn Taurus combination, but also in an intellectual manner with Aquarius here. You give knowledge, you give information, you share, you are a sharer, which means that you are giving nurturance in one form or another, either through physical need or through, again, intellectual need. And so you need this as reciprocity in your relationships in this lifetime, because the nurturer does need to be nurtured. The person who is always, sharing resources or giving of resources needs to be resourced. And because you have all this earth energy and Aquarius energy, which is very mature in its nature, because Capricorn and Aquarius are ruled by Saturn, which rules maturity. That is the planet that rules over maturity and the act of maturing. With Taurus being here as the resourcer, you are really leaned upon. You are really someone who is reliable, dependent, and giving, very giving of nature. And so in this lifetime, love is meant to not only remind you of those things, but to offer you the ability to receive it yourself, to receive care, nurturance, to be able to receive a moment of relaxation, because you are taken care of as you take care of others. You, in this lifetime, are meant to experience the blessings that you so easily and freely give of. And that may not always be the easiest thing for you to receive, because you're already in position of offering. And so love in this lifetime is here to remind you to receive just as much as you give, to take notice, again, take a reality check. And when your resources are needing to be replenished, needing for you to feel the own abundance of your efforts and your ability to create bounty with that Taurus energy and that Capricorn energy. You, again, the people who watch this channel, because Capricorn keeps coming out so frequently, it's like you all are very determined, very hardworking. And this is not something to just necessarily be praised at all times, because the hustle culture, grind culture is real. But I do want to honor this element within all of you who are watching this specifically right now at this time, that you have this element of achieving and going for and gaining what it is that you desire, But for a greater purpose with this Aquarius energy, it is to interconnect facets of your own being and facets of other beings together so that you can build a system of, equity, of nurturance, of care. And so in this lifetime, I believe love expands beyond, for you specifically, pile number 4, love expands beyond just a one-on-one interaction, just I'm meeting this person and giving them these resources never to speak or meet again. I think Aquarius is very, even though it's always labeled as that outsider, the one outside of the bounds, I do believe that Aquarius has this unique ability of creating community, of gathering even, different cultures, different magnitudes of people together. And those are the type of bonds that just don't dissolve. They just don't break apart. And so in this lifetime, love is not just romantic. It's not just a physical pleasure. It is a solidity of beingness between all interactions that you have, reminding you that you are alive, reminding you that you are connected to one another in a very unique and special way. Like how you can have one friendship that is so dear and cherished to you and special to you, and you cherish it like family even. And then you have another connection that's not similar in any way whatsoever, and yet you cherish it equally. There's this energy of like, I cherish the people that gather around me in community, and I cherish what we are able to build individually and togetherness. There's this like uplifting of voices, uplifting like a choir of voices where, yes, it's nice to have an alto or a soprano here and there, but it's like to have the whole choir, to have the whole chorus join in together creates the symphony. It creates the harmony. And so I think that this is just a poetic explanation of what love looks and feels like to you in this lifetime, where it's not for individual gain. It's not for just individual purpose. It is for like the most profound connectivity that you could perceive. It is creating a community garden. It is feeding your neighbors, feeding your family, feeding your cousins, feeding any who needs it, who is in need. And gathering, not just, again, handing out resource and turning away, but gathering like family dinners. Oh, it's so beautiful. With Origin here and the relaxed energy, I think that you do a lot for other people. I see it clearly. You are the person who shows up with something in hand. Like, you want to be able to always be able to provide for others. And so there is this energy calling you to relax, calling you to, again, receive what you so freely give of, what you so dedicatedly go in search of for other people. So to relax into a more receptive mode, that is the sole purpose of love in this lifetime for you. Because you are as you are, and because you are attracting all that you attract through the people that you surround yourself with, it's important and essential that you allow a reciprocal energy. And so that will come through relaxation and honoring the roots that exist beneath the drive and the passion that you have for this providing energy. Where does it stem from? Where do you have this desire, this deep-rooted desire to take care and be of care to other people? How has it been conditioned? How can you look at, yes, the absolute beautiful parts of it, but also realize that sometimes it may drive you into action with that cardinal energy here when you are being called to maybe possibly take a more, what's the word? Receptive role. And so you have two cardinal energies, you have two fixed energies within the zodiac as well. And that means that you're very focused on your goal. You're very focused on that output. And so, again, looking at the root, forgiving any behaviors that have placed you in this position, either willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly, and really, again, still honoring this part of you, not trying to rid of it, because if it works for you, if this is your true existence, then honor that, and also realize how there are certain behaviors and habits that you have a responsibility to let go of so that you can receive all that it is that you pour into others, okay? That is the role of love in your life in this lifetime. What else? Please, Spirit. Pile number 4. What other energies is here for pile number 4? Love. Okay. So these all shot out. You have, of course, the Aquarius emotion, inspiration or indifference. You have the Libra emotion, love or embarrassment. And you have the Leo spirit with courage. So interesting. Very unique and different energies gathered in that collection. But at the bottom of the deck you have, because I'm going to keep this one. At the bottom of the deck you have the Virgo emotion with fascination or anxiety. And it says a woodpecker bores through tree bark. And it says your capacity to drill into the details may be resulting in an exciting and energizing feeling of fascination, or it may be causing you to overthink things and feel anxious. If the latter is the case, it might be helpful to broaden your perspective. And Aquarius is all about broadening your perspective. But you have this capacity, and that's what we were talking about in your ability to provide for other people. You have the capacity to drill into the details. And you really, you do face these polarizing energies of both fascination and angst. It's because that Virgo energy, because it is so goal oriented, because it is determined to pick apart the pieces and to find the flaw in order to put the pieces back together exactly as it was meant to be. You have this energy towards the other. You try to pick apart what is of default, what is of, disarray for other people, and to fill it with the needs that they have and they desire. This ability that you have, it can cause anxiety because that is, I believe, Virgo carries a very big weight. And it's not something that is necessarily of a burden, but I explain this to my wife all the time. And so I'm going to break it down for you as well. Pile number 4. But when you do a specific kind of work, a work that is always constantly putting into your perspective that people are in need of things, they are in lack of things, there is inequity in all industries, through all systems. There is very little in a professional sense that exists in the world that promises equity and then actually provides it fully in its like most authentic form, it's really difficult to find in some manners. And yet there are people like you, pile number 4, that are out here trying to fill in the gaps little by little. A woodpecker, like it's concentrated. It concentrates on one spot until it is complete. So that means that other areas of lack have to go on as they are until you are completed with each project or area that that draws your focus, that draws your attention, that has that need that you're there willing to fill and to provide for. How does this show up as love in your life? I think that, and of course, at the time of recording this, we just recently had a new moon in Capricorn, interesting enough. And I made a story on my Instagram, which I will leave down below in the description. I made a story on my Instagram basically saying, it's always encouraged to work hard for something in this grind culture that we exist in 2024. It's always encouraged to work hard for something, but what is your why? Why are you showing up? Why pursue the promise of abundance and wealth if the world still exists as it is, which has so many needs, so many gaps of inequity and injustice? And that's not to mean, you don't have the right to claim your own abundance or wealth while others are still suffering. The question was posed as to, is your why succinct with the outcome that you desire? Which, yes, I desire to be fully resourced while also feeding and pouring into the community. And I see that you have this. You have this desire for it to not just be about self-reliance and self-success, if that's even a phrase that I could use there. So there is this level of acceptance of I will harness my energy in the area that I can while I am still here, drawn to it, being pulled, being called to it. And I will relax in the knowing that these contributions matter, and also I will be able to do greater things, more things as time allows it. Love is here to remind you of all of these things that I'm saying so freely, that I feel like I'm channeling at this current moment. You have now had the appearance of all 3 earth signs, which means that this is a very physical, earthly matter for you in regards to love. Love is here to teach you and to show you through example of how to be, how to just exist, how to be yourself in this life and be very comfortable in knowing that you are giving it your all. Your efforts are seen, they are valued, they are appreciated. Love is here to tell you that it appreciates you and your thoughtfulness and your insights. Love is here to tell you to relax, to tell you it is okay if you can't tackle every single worldly issue right now. The world will continue to have issues. The world will continue to be faulty because we are human, and that is the agreement that we have all signed up to be flawed, to fight against inhumanity for those who have lost touch with their own humanity, and to soften ourselves to love, even when the world seems so cold, so harsh, so demanding, to soften ourselves into the understanding that you have time. Saturn is about time, okay? And so try to remind yourself of this as often as you can, that time is not running out. It's not real. Time is only here to guide us forward and to allow us the precious ability to look backwards. But it's man built the importance of time up through its systems, through its demands. Like, time is what you make of it. Pile number 4. That was a very, very long rant. Let's see what this of course. You have even more Saturnian energy with Aquarius here. Once again, Aquarius wisdom and innovation. So your friend groups, your dearest ones, the ones who surround you, even possibly your romantic partner or partners, depending on you partner before, are very Aquarian in nature. I mean, it's like when you see a group of friends and they all are so different and yet they are held together by a commonality of uniqueness and aliveness. It's like that is the energy that I feel surrounding you. Again, Aquarius it's just like a nice, comfortable group of people. I don't know why I said that, because that doesn't actually have to necessarily be, but for some of you it may be. Aquarius is just like other people. I find that so interesting in this reading, because it makes me think of the people who are surrounded by community all of their lives. And it may not have been like this for you growing up, in your upbringing. Maybe some of you, you've had people around you, but it has grown with you. Like, that energy has grown with you. So people have changed. People have taken different roles in your life, and the people that exist right now, presently, and in the future are going to be just so Aquarian in nature. I just don't know. But this card depicts a gate flying open, and it says, when a gate that was closed opens with no warning, one must be in the right place at the right time to step through. When new ideas emerge, open your mind to receive them, else they will recede unnoticed or unremembered. Okay? Very interesting. This has been the most interesting reading I've done so far with these set of cards. The most interesting, because everyone has pretty much been aligned with the theme of love in some way or another. It made sense. Not to say that your energy doesn't make sense, pile number 4. It's just, there is this energy here about love in your life, setting your mind open, setting your mind free, allowing you to embrace your most innovative self, like your most unique, out there, weird, unconventional self. And you must be present for it. Like, love is here, flinging the gates open with no warning. You may not even have caught it if you've been so busy doing what you've been doing. But one must be in the right place at the right time to step through. And I think that this is a moment for you, presently, that you are in, where you are being emerged with new ideas. And I don't think that it's just been introduced like out of thin air. It's been through conversation. It's been through connections, networking, online communities as well, that have really given you a new way of thinking. And so you are possibly in this process of opening your mind to receive these new ways of thinking, to be even more open-minded than you thought even yourself to be. So you're being called to continue to allow new ideas to find you and to investigate them. Do not let them go unnoticed or unthought of again. Just be a little bit be as curious as you want to be, first of all, but be as curious as possible, so that you can really know and understand, like, okay, I've really worn not worn it out, but I've let my intrigue wander. I've been curious enough to the point that I've learned something new about myself, about love in my life, what I love, what I value in this lifetime, and it's sending me once again onto a new path. Let me see, because this reading has gotten even more intriguing to me. I hope that it is resonating for you so far. Pile number 4. But love, I believe, is playing such a huge role in your life in this lifetime. It is so much more than just having a lifetime partner. I think you are building such a strong community of love around you, of love and care, of progression. It's like you've formed a bandit of revolutionaries, and they call you family, and they love you as family. And there's this bond that you were meant to have in this lifetime, a strong bond that can be nurtured for the rest of your life. You have Sun in Leo with Fortune. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Fortune, again, fortunate in all different manners, but especially through passion with the 5th house here. You have Mercury and Scorpio with extremism at the bottom of the deck. So communication in this lifetime for you may have and may continue to still be a little a little difficult for you. You are a very passionate person, dedicated, loyal, fixated at certain times on achieving your goals, and your goals are bigger than life. It's not about a job. It's not about a house. It's not about a specific kind of partner to say that you've made it. Your goals and your dreams are otherworldly. They encompass so much nuance. As I mean, a lot of people's dreams can and do. Some people, no shade to it. Some people just desire to be an influencer. Some people just desire to be something that may not even feel like a calling to them. And yet this is a calling to you. There's something here of a calling for you, and it is fortunate. Like in this lifetime for yourself, you will feel blessed and fortunate and lucky even to be alive in this lifetime, in this earthly expression, because maybe other lineages, other generations of people in your bloodline have not been so fortunate. They've had to work extremely hard, extremely difficult conditions in order to even be alive, in order to even carry on the next generation. But for you in this lifetime, you will feel like all of that led to a blessed existence for you in this lifetime. I feel like love is blessing you in this lifetime with great fortune, and you may have thought that you have had to work for it harder than you actually did. You may not have believed it, that you were worthy of relaxation and ease, abundance, and genuine friendship. But love is here to remind you of otherwise, and it was difficult to do so. Mercury and Scorpio is a fixed mind. They are fixed on what they think. They say what they say, and they have said that thing from the depths of their own truth. And it may cut, it may hurt, it may sting, that Mercury and Scorpio energy. But at the moment, it was truth. And so with having this energy, I think you are valued in this lifetime for the truth that you speak, for the genuine thoughts that you hold. Again, people of other energy may not have enjoyed it in the past. They may not have understood your extreme mannerisms. And yet you have so many acquaintances around you that value your speech. They value your mind. They value the taboo subjects that you dare to even speak on or to think about or to idealize around. And they want you to know that you are not alone. Like, you are understood, even when you have not been understood, even when communication has been combative for you. People have really not honored your unique thoughts or ideas, or they have tried to convince you that you were just too intense in speech or thought or action even. And so love is in your life to actually help you to honor certain aspects about you that other people have not been able to not only accept, but to give to you in return, which is honesty, which is directness, because that Mercury and Scorpio can be direct. Again, it's been a journey for you since childhood. And as you grow older, as you mature more, you will see the fortune and the blessing in coming through all of those experiences, being able to stand firmly on your mind, because so many other people will tell you, like, no, you're not crazy for thinking that. You're not crazy for feeling that. I think and feel that way too. And this is how I have transmuted those thoughts, or this is how I have progressed, beyond that feeling of like, oh, I'm just not meant to be understood in this lifetime. That is why we have the innovation here. Love is meant to show you that the way that you think, there's nothing wrong with it. And there's also an opportunity to evolve beyond whatever conditioning that has enticed you to doubt your thoughts, to doubt yourself in totality. Love is here to liberate you from that. Let's see. Because I feel like this needs a little bit more details from the tarot. I'm going to shuffle some tarot cards. Okay. And we're going to get into the energy. Okay. This is quite a lot. Let me see. Nine of Wands, Page of Wands, Six of Swords, Seven of Cups. They just came out so directly. I think I'm going to keep shuffling. Yeah. Because I need just one at a time. Okay. The Knight of Swords wanted to make itself known and clear. Okay. I have the Knight of Swords here. Okay. Let's see. The Queen of Cups. Yeah, that That fits. Okay. All right. Well, we have those other two. And the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. Beautiful. And let's see what this... Okay, so we have the World card with Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, of course, and Scorpio. These are the fixed signs of the zodiac represented in the World card, which is so funny because we have all of these energies in your reading. And we have the Ace of Wands. So beautiful. Let's see. Eight of Pentacles. Wow. More Saturn energy. The Eight of Pentacles. Oh, no. Not Saturn. The Eight of Pentacles is ruled by Virgo. More Virgo energy. Yes. Okay. So the Eight of Pentacles at the center of your reading is literally everything that we talked about: your hard work, your dedication, your longing for mastery in one arena, specifically of the physical matter. You are someone who is so dedicated. Like you really do feel like you have something to offer to other people. And it comes from this idea of doing something, having the ability to do something over and over again and to grow into mastery of it just from the repetitive nature of doing that thing over and over again with a dream in mind. You have a goal in mind. There's something here about like, I'm going to do something for the rest of my life, quite possibly. Even though Virgo is a mutable energy, which is ruled by it's ruling over the Eight of Pentacles, I'm going to do something so many times, because I not only know that it will aid in my ability, but it will also help me to, what's the word that I'm looking for here? It's going to show me my ability and also aid in my capability of being able to grow beyond this as well. I feel like in this lifetime, love is so intimately connected with the things that you want to provide to other people. And you may be the type of person who does that in a professional manner, in a professional sense, either through like your work or, you know, not just a career, but your professional service to others, either through your own business or whatnot. You have a lot of Aquarius energy here. So some of you may be business owners, and you may work online through, because that is our main source of, you know, entrepreneurship in these times, is through social media and having an online presence. But there is this energy that in this lifetime, love is here to show you what you are dedicated to and why. Like, you are doing this because you love it. You are doing this because it evokes love from you. And you may not actually think of it in that manner because we have so much like Aquarius, logical thinking, Capricorn, logical action, Taurus, physical pleasure. But you actually get a lot of emotional fulfillment from what it is that you are able to provide to other people. And in return, you receive so much love. You are viewed as the Queen of Cups. And people don't, when you think of the Queen of Cups, you don't typically think of like the Eight of Pentacles, someone who is habitually doing something just over and over again, making the same thing but differently, better, upgrading the material, tweaking the approach, progressing in this atmosphere of fixatedness, you don't think of the Queen of Cups. You just see this soft person who's described as ethereal, who's described as compassionate, sitting on their throne. But it's like, to be the Queen of Cups, you have had to love a lot of people. You have had to give a lot of compassion. You have had to give a lot of nurturance in order to even be deemed the Queen of Cups, someone who is so mature in their emotional expression, someone who is so kind-hearted. It has taken practice to be able, relationships take practice to be in relation with other people, to know how to speak to them. Mercury and Scorpio, you've learned that. To learn how to speak to people, it takes practice. To learn how to get that compassion, but also that care across, takes practice. And so with the Knight of Swords here, I see you really taking that understanding and moving like, okay, well, the way that Afton described it makes total sense to me, because now that makes me view the active relationship in practice. Like, I'm always in practice relating to other people, being close to other people, but also keeping this distance as well for yourself with the Aquarius energy. It takes the practice to find the balance of saying like, okay, I'm going to give this my all. I'm going to dedicate my life to this in this lifetime. Whatever it is that you love and that you care about and that you feel like you have to give to other people, pile number 4. And yet the distance for yourself is to be able to relax, is to be able to feed yourself. Again, the Queen of Cups is nothing without her own knowledge of boundary. The Queen of Cups knows like, oh, people will take advantage of this. People will drain me if they have the opportunity to, because they haven't felt anything this good in a long time. So Aquarius, Queen of Cups, you have this boundary that is needing to be put up that allows people to come, and then also allows you to take distance and to nurture and replenish yourself in the ways that is necessary. I think that in this lifetime, you will mature in this understanding and know how to take the actions that echo this understanding, and in mind as well. Because sometimes our mind will tell us, well, so-and-so needs me. Like, I can't just distance myself now because now is when they need me. Okay, we'll really observe your capacity. Like, what is your capacity to be able to do this? You must be very in tune. Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. You must be very in tune with yourself emotionally, physically, and spiritually to know like, oh, I have the energy for this, or oh, I don't. And love in this lifetime is teaching you these things through trial and error, through a lot of intense conversations of like, well, no, I can't do this. Well, I thought you were going to show up for me no matter what. Like, that's an uncomfortable conversation, I'm sure. And yet, no one is owner of our movement. No one is owner of our energy and our energetic output. Like, at some point, you do have to say no. And that may cause tension. And yet, when you find yourself being able to do so, I think it's unleashing a new like understanding within you. With the World card here, wow, the World card represents being able to move through into a new chapter in your life, knowing that the last chapter was taken care of and that you had given everything that you were meant to and that nothing was left undone. The World card is surrounded by the fixed signs that signifies like that is the close of this chapter. Like, you are literally stepping into a new one, and this may be something that is happening in your life as you are receiving this message, where you feel like you're stepping into a new way of existing relationally with other people, one where you feel strong, you feel stable, You feel discerning and sure of mind, and that no one is able to take advantage of your delicate heart and your compassionate nature and your this need that you have to provide for other people. I think right now you are moving in time with this ambition and excitement of like, wow, I was able to embrace certain things. I was able to let go of other things. I was able to acknowledge certain things from my past, all in this one cycle, this one chapter of life. And now I'm moving through with a new understanding, with excitement, with understanding, with that same old reliable compassion that I have always had, and it feels renewed, it feels refreshed. There is something here, again, a new beginning. So the Ace of Wands, following the world, it looks to me like the Ace of Wands is introducing the closing of a chapter. It's when you see a new beginning before you realize like, oh, I'm actually evolving out of this right now. Like, I'm moving away from something I didn't even realize I was in like full consciousness, but I see something new and I'm looking back like, oh, that's a whole chapter behind me that I didn't even know that I was breezing through so quickly with the Knight of Swords here. Love is ushering you into a new way of being where you accept all of the most radical parts of yourself, the most, unique, again, like the fingerprint on your hand, the parts of you that maybe aren't even easy to explain to other people because you just are who you are. You like what you like. You're into what you're into. You're dedicated to what you're dedicated to. And people don't have to get it. They just have to see that, like, oh, wow, this person is pouring their love from their spirit into this. That's what you desire and understanding. People don't have to get what it is that you do. They just have to know, like, oh, this is your passion. This is your heart. This is your thing. This is a form of love for you, and sharing this with other people. And so you're really excited to show this part of you, this really outwardly passionate part of you. Because with the Eight of Pentacles here, it's really no one sees you in this space, or they rarely see you in this space, except the ones who really are really connected to what you do as a craft. They know. They see the repetitiveness. They're there to witness every release. They're there to be like, oh, they done did it again, and they done did it even better than the last time. Okay? So there are people who are witnessing you. Maybe they are not as close to you as you. Maybe you don't even know. You're not even aware. You're like, yeah, I'm just here with my head down, doing my thing. That's how you are coming into understanding, like, oh, wow, I'm moving into a new chapter and I didn't even realize it. This is because you've had your head down and you've been working for the love of something. You've been working and putting it out there and trying to communicate with other people about it as well. That's where that extremism comes in. It's like, look at this. I'm so passionate about it. Like, how can you not even understand what it is that I'm trying to tell you? And people are like, whoa, you're coming off real strong. Like, some people don't get it. They're not living their life in this type of passion. And yet you are, and it is important to you. And those who get it, they will. They absolutely will. The High Priestess at the bottom of the deck is saying, just stay in connection with your intuition. Be as dedicated to that as all other aspects of what you are passionate about. Trusting your intuition is what has gotten you this far. Even in the darkest moments when you have not known whether to go left or right, the High Priestess has always been there within you to guide you through feeling and through passion. And so, you're being called to, in this lifetime, to always honor your intuition, always honor your psychic ability to see, to foresee things. especially with the Aquarius energy. Aquarius is the future. Aquarius is future needs that we don't even know that we're aware of presently because we're trying to still gain present gratification. And Aquarius is about that future gratification. If there's no, world to exist in the future, what are we fighting so hard for current pleasures for? And we don't even have a guaranteed home to experience and love the things that we've worked so hard for. So I see you with a very futuristic mindset. Honor that. Love will remind you to honor that. Love will remind you to not turn away from yourself, to not try to change yourself, or to adapt to anything that is not what you identify with, what you group yourself with. So I have just one more, final affirmation for you, pile number 4, in regards to the role, the story that love plays in your life in this lifetime. So I'm going to read the bottom of the deck first, and then I'm going to read the card that came out for you. But I create healthy boundaries, supporting my personal growth and potential. I'm going to read it again, because this is foundational to the role that love is playing in your life. I create healthy boundaries, supporting my personal growth and potential. This is what love is here to do for you, to support you through, and to always ensure that you move with healthy boundaries, so that you never have to feel like you are not in tune and connected to your own personal growth. And you have the card, I accept my vulnerability. It strengthens my love of self. Ooh. I accept my vulnerability. It strengthens my love of self. I feel like you are a very vulnerable person. Someone who is so dedicated to a cause is dedicated because it is something that is vulnerable to them. It is something that is sensitive to them. So you are a very vulnerable spirit, and it is actually here to strengthen your love of self. Love is here to strengthen your love of self. And that, that has been echoed around this reading with, making sure you have the proper boundaries so that you are able to love on yourself. So you're always able to strengthen the love of yourself. So that you're always able to take a reality check when you feel like you are not doing that, when you're not upholding self-love in its, highest form. But you are blessed. You are blessed with certain abilities that will help you to always tap in and to check in, because you have this unique ability of being able to set yourself apart from distraction and from, superficiality. Okay? Pile number 4, this is your reading. This is all, that I have for you in regards to love in this lifetime for you. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and it would help out my channel a lot. And I can't wait to see you in another reading. Peace.